Skillboat keeping it all on track. Sequence got his back. Feeding fishing, growing dank. Painted ladies got lots of charm. Michigan Rose Show. Michigan Rose Show. Button grow doing big ass grows. Red Southern Farms also got the flame. Michigan Rose grows folks. Just wanna grow something to smoke. Michigan Rose Grow Show. Michigan Rose Grow Show. Michigan Rose Grow Show. Michigan Rose Grow Show.
Welcome to the Bro Show Live, everybody. Merry Christmas and all that good shit.
Oh.
Did Santa come to your house?
Poop
I
down my
don't have
chimney.
a chimney.
Did they say oh?
He sounded like Green Giant. Ho, 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 Green Giant.
Eat your
What'd
green
you call him?
beans.
Good night, Groskies. How is everyone doing?
And we just started the show. You saying good night already? Fuck.
Yeah, it's nighttime, Skilbo. Look at your watch.
On
Yeah.
the East Coast, maybe we're worldwide, baby. It could be daytime somewhere. We got folks tuning
It's
in
5 o'clock somewhere.
from Australia. And
Yeah,
shit, worldwide.
Aquaponics Steve
Worldwide.
comes in from Thailand in the
Right
morning.
on. See.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Did Santa go to your house? Did he show up?
Yeah.
Nope.
Who got good seeds for Christmas? That's what we want to know.
Santa didn't come.
I
to
think
my house.
I have some seeds on the way.
You think you don't even know you have so many fucking seed
I
orders?
got,
You're just
no,
like this
I got a coworker
fabulous-
that's like, hey, your
Right on,
present's
right
not
on.
going to be here on time. And if anybody, I think that's who got me seeds. Which is fine because I've been good about not buying seeds. I got to be popping them.
I figured you
So-
sent a bunch of stamps for seeds or something like they like to do.
Yeah.
Doing his thing, man.
Gift cards or whatever.
I was snowed in. I just got home today.
Ooh.
I saw that storm was coming. I was supposed to head back into town on Friday, but that's when the storm hit, and I was like, "Fuck that!" I ain't going up there. Then I kept checking, and it was like just getting worse and worse and worse. And so finally, my window of opportunity was today, and I drove up from Illinois, and 94, just on 94 alone, I saw 2 semis in the ditch and 5 combos of cars, trucks, and other
Right.
vehicles.
And you're still hammered down the whole fucking way.
95 the whole way.
Well, I was passing a lot of people. I have
Yeah,
all-wheel drive, man.
people were going slow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Honestly, the only time I even slipped at all on the road on the way home is slowing down for people doing like 25 on the fucking highway. When
Yeah,
I'm
you're
That's
going
fun,
like,
man.
oh wait, I'm getting too close to that guy. Yeah,
Like, now I gotta get over into this other lane, and this is gonna be sketchy. And
yeah.
I rode the fast lane most of the time, honestly.
Ooh.
yeah. Glad you made it back. We
Thank
got a
you.
ton of snow here at home. It basically snowed the entire weekend, nonstop almost. I shoveled snow 3 or 4 times, keeping her
Yeah.
cleared out. Baked came over today to celebrate Christmas with us. We didn't eat a bunch, but we smoked and we were merry. We had some fun. We played some games. I showed him my new truck. And,
Yeah.
good time.
What do you think, Baked? Is it worth the hype, man? Is it slick? I mean, we don't know
It's
because
sweet.
there's no fucking batteries yet.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
we
he
don't
doesn't have a
know.
battery yet, but it's definitely got a lot of cool like suspension components.
So a lot of hype
To
chat for a
see it
truck.
on an RC car, it's like wow. But yeah, he doesn't have it. It was funny because Porch Farmer or Sequence in our chat was like fucking ripped out the truck. It was real fun today. Porch Farmer came in later and he's like, "Oh, good for you. You went out and got a battery despite it being Christmas or something like that." and I'm like, "There's no fucking way he got a battery today. Amazon ain't delivering, and nothing's open.
Right,
Like, especially not a small mom and pop RC store."
right.
So-
But you used your brain, and you
But-
were like,
I was ripping my vehicle, my real vehicle, at work, waiting for the boss to get there. So I was ripping through the snow.
You donuts.
And I was like, nah, he was ripping his real truck, and that's what he ended up doing. But
I
we almost
was.
went and did that, but we ended up playing games and eating Haley's cookies. She made some cookies that were pretty good. She's not happy with them, but they were good.
No,
they
You
were good.
smashed
no,
them.
I didn't. I ran out of flour, and I was just a hair shy, and I was like, they should be a good no.
They
They
didn't
It's all-
rise or whatever. So they were flat, but they weren't burnt or nothing. So you got crispy edges with a gooey center. Pretty good
Right,
combo. Yeah.
I like them a little thicker.
Yeah, I get
So
you.
girthier cookies, right?
What she said.
Right on.
I mean,
But yeah. How many ingredients did you have to borrow?
I know. That's why I didn't go back over. I already had to go over to my next door neighbors 3 times for first time was for butter. Then I was like, oh fuck, I ran out of sugar. I didn't have enough sugar either. And then I get back and I'm like doing the flour and realize I'm just you got to be kidding me. I'm not going back over. So I didn't, and I ruined them.
Well, no, if you'd have went back over, she would have said, "Do you want me to just come over and make them for you? You won't just make them and drop them off on
That's
the
what I
front
said.
door?" It's
Right.
not-
Oh,
She
no,
would
she
shoot
wasn't
open the
home.
door with cookies and be like, here, just eat them.
I just went over there and raided
You
her
don't
house.
leave me the
when she
fuck
wasn't
alone.
home.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm taking care of her cat. Thank God too, because I went over there and the cat had no food.
Mm.
Calling her ass out. No food at all when I get over there, and she's not coming home till Tuesday.
Dang.
She was like, "You can come over and check on him if you want to. No big deal."
You know what she's trying to do? She's trying to make the cats miss her, so when she gets home, they'll actually acknowledge her. And starving them out for 5 days is the way to do that.
Yeah. If anything, I saw a pay
Yeah,
lady's
me
cat
too.
that she calls a sweetheart. And it was nice, and it sat on Sequence's lap and purred and all that. But
Baby?
out of the blue, poor Diamond, this
Uh-huh.
this so gentle hippopotamus of a dog, just sitting there, minding her own
Hippo's
business,
so
getting
wonderful.
petted by me. Here comes the cat, and I saw it in the cat's eyes. It was up to no good. You could see it. Here it comes, dead looking at the dog, walking up steps. Whap, whap! Just whacked at Diamond for no reason, then dipped. Like that's the weird part about cats that makes me like, yo,
Yeah.
you
You can't
guys
have to
are
trust them.
right. Yeah,
She
you
was
can't trust them
playing her.
fully.
Yeah, they kind of are assholes, but
But it was hilarious.
what was Diamond's reaction? She just got the fuck out of there.
Diamond was
That's
so
nothing.
imagine Diamond was like looking like this, gets swatted at, and she just went like this.
Like she's been a beat
And
dog.
then she looked at me with the biggest eyes. Yeah, she's just like, I don't know what I did.
Hi, Red and Becca.
Cheers, Red and
Heyo.
Becca.
Hi guys.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
You're at
Merry
the
Christmas.
the party, huh?
I'm glad you guys could make it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we just wanted to come and say hi to everybody, give you guys our love because we love you all, and wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas. I like the
Merry
hat.
Christmas.
Hats.
Very nice.
We miss you
Very
all.
festive.
Woo, wine.
Ooh, Becca's getting lit.
Get
Lit.
lit.
Hell yeah.
Kwanzaa.
I hope you guys are feeling better today.
We are
I thought-
feeling much better.
I thought Mama Red wanted to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
I
let me
thought you wanted to
get
talk about Bravo,
Yeah.
man.
Let me get them.
All right, get him.
Hell
get him,
yeah.
We're
Let's
chit-
talk
chatting
Southern
around
hospitality.
our family.
Skilbo, I got a clone for you. That GG4 whenever you're ready.
Yeah, man. Fuck
It's
yeah.
in a solo cup now, and the longer it takes for us to link up, it might be in a 1 gallon, it might be in a 5 gallon.
Yeah.
Get him. Maybe a 7.
But it's definitely a rooted clone now.
Fuck yeah,
Got it.
man. Thank you.
Got a special guest.
There he
Red,
is.
what
Cheers.
Hey, Daddy Red.
Red.
This is my dad.
Merry Christmas,
Daddy Red.
everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
To you.
Oh.
There's Mama Red
Cheers.
too.
You can hear
Let
her.
me get out of the
You
way.
guys saw the line, so.
Red can just move the
Yeah.
camera. You don't have to move, Daddy Red.
Here's
Hi,
Here's
guys.
Here's my mom.
There she is.
Ah,
What's
it's
up,
Mama Red.
Red?
Crap, but I'm entertaining the fam.
Oh, Scott, you
Hi.
look great.
Mama
Welcome.
Red,
How's it going?
we gotta talk Southern
Christmas, everybody.
hospitality. We gotta talk Southern hospitality soon.
Oh yeah. We love Southern House. I like it.
Yep,
All
It's a good-
Bravo.
it's the new Vanderpump Rules, don't you think?
What? Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh,
is
here
it
we
coming
go.
back on?
I thought you were talking about actual Southern hospitality.
Stop it, babe. Come
Yeah,
on.
I was
It's
like-
Bravo
Yeah,
I was
Rules.
like,
Right.
these, what do you mean, the south of Michigan? Like,
Yes.
I said you got to talk to Daddy Red about real Southern hospitality.
yeah,
He's from the South.
yeah, there we go.
There you go.
You guys are talking
Merry Christmas.
about a show.
Did you guys have a nice holiday? Merry Christmas.
We did.
Absolutely.
Good.
Hopefully you did
Good.
too. Got all of what you deserved and most of what you needed.
Well, we're entertaining the fam, and they're loving it, and I'm glad you all have a wonderful show tonight. We love you guys.
Well, you
And
tell
I'm
the family
talking
we
to
said
you,
the same.
Painted lady about Bravo.
Yeah, hell yeah. Soon we're gonna do
Maybe
it. Mama Red.
one day we can meet up in New York and go to BravoCon.
There you go.
Yes, let's do it. Next year.
What?
BravoCon, babe.
Bravo.
Oh my God.
And she was giving you shit about RC cars? And she was giving you shit about RC cars?
The face
Bro.
on the curtain, you dress up like that person. Yep.
Hey, Merry
Ah,
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Mama
Christmas.
Red.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Baked. I appreciate that.
No problem.
They're so nice.
Fuck you, Baked, because I said right off the bat, he could have his RC car because I have my Bravo show and I
She
don't
did say that.
subject him to it.
That's true.
Oh,
So
I guess it's a trade-off. So he doesn't have to go to BravoCon.
Damn straight.
no,
Okay.
BravoCon.
I don't expect him to hear or listen to or be in the house when I have Bravo on.
Sounds good. We'll go play
Not
Dark
even
and
allowed
Darker.
Not even allowed in the house when Bravo's on? That's
She
bullshit.
truly,
I mean-
if I walk in the room, she turns it off.
You know, what's
Oh,
funny
wow.
is there are probably people that watch this show that their spouse feels the same way about this one. Like, God, don't have this show on when I
No.
come in the fucking room. Turn it off, man.
Turn it fucking. I am tired of those guys.
Well, there are some things that you just want to kind of enjoy without the comments or like feeling like it's stupid and you just want to enjoy your guilty pleasure like without feeling stupid about it.
Yeah, I had
Mama
a
Red
bet
knows
with
what
a
I'm
chick
talking
that
about.
it was Jersey Shore. It was like
Jersey Shore?
no, well I lived with them, so like it would be on all the time. She had the DVDs and shit, and then it became like there was like shows like Jersey Shore where it'd be like just Southern people or something living together, getting.
Uh,
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
No,
that
Bake,
shit
do you
was
consider
always
yourself
on.
Bake, do you consider yourself a Southern person?
I don't know what you mean. Like I'm from the South, geographically.
You're literally a Florida man.
I was
Geographically,
born.
you're a Florida man.
Geographically, I was a Florida man, but like I don't like walk around and ride horses and alligators and stuff. But
I do got to give Painted Lady props. She'll watch football with me all day Sunday. She watches
sure.
Formula
You got it
Drift
on right
with
behind
me.
you now.
She watches
Yeah.
Formula Drift with me all day, so
But not-
I don't mind her show.
not Nickelodeon's sports channel.
Yeah.
We found that out.
didn't
Yeah.
care for it.
Turn the Nickelodeon.
Where they slime the players with augmented reality.
Mhm.
Just too many graphics going on, and the commercials.
It
really-
is. It's wild. There's things on the field during plays, like a
Yeti
Santa
run
little
around.
thing. Yeah, and you're like, oh, what's going on? But yeah, I was
Mhm.
over there
You wanna-
watching that with them.
You want to see one of my favorite gifts that I got from Sequence?
Did you get a
Yep.
Bravo hoodie?
I got her a great one, guys.
No.
Bravo hoodie.
I don't know if you can show it on YouTube.
Hey, Big Adventures, Tiny Dick.
Dick. You have to be big to do great things.
Is he
That's right.
trying to?
Oh,
is
it's
it a
an
biography?
adult coloring book.
Sequence,
It's
is
a
that a
tiny
biography?
dick doing great things in a
Oh
coloring book.
man, we get to see the progress of this masterpiece.
Autobiography.
This oh
It's a big
man,
Van Gogh right there.
yep.
Amazing that somebody got paid
That's
to make
great.
Paper dicks.
Yeah, somebody's retiring off of that.
Somebody made a good living doing these.
Yeah.
I got
Card.
this one too.
I got her a
Hey,
Mandela.
hey man,
Oh,
I need
hell
you to
yeah.
draw some dicks. It's for an adult coloring book.
Fuck off.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have lots of
Sacred
was the-
geometry dicks.
Wait a minute. No,
That's
that was
right,
a dick.
dude.
It was a dick mandala.
What a mandala?
I think it was a dick
Yeah, they're
mandala.
mandalas.
Dick
Right?
mandala?
I just see a bunch of defacing of the dick and all of that. I don't
Dick
understand.
wants to deface
Graffiti dick.
In the future, Spartan, they're gonna tattoo them, so that's what they'll look like.
Like a Maori face
I think
painting.
mine
right?
looks
We get it that
beautiful
way,
as it
face
is. It don't, it's
tattoos.
perfect. Nothing doesn't need anything else.
Hey, each his
Well, I
own. They're
can't
gonna
wait to
they're
get my
gonna call you a
color pencils
blanker.
on.
A blanker, I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
yeah. It's whatever.
I'm glad that henna dicks never caught on.
I bet that the
That's
Rock
not
has
what we're
a
talking
tattoo
about.
similar to that going on. You know?
Guys,
Got half his body.
I got a bunch of new really good gifts for dabbing, and I'll have to show them to you tomorrow when I'm at home and
Ooh.
everything. But I
Nice.
got a
Ruby.
a ruby insert and a new
Ooh.
banger. I got all the goods, man.
Nice.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. I can't wait to see them. You're going to Vanna White that shit tomorrow.
Yes.
She got a cage for her torch.
Yeah, cage for my torch. I got hooked up. So I'll show you tomorrow, guys.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
That's,
Cool.
come through for the late session, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Hot
I
babe.
just need a new rig next year.
Hey, I got one for you. You just got to buy it from me.
We're looking.
Will you trade for a mini split?
Two splits, two mini splits.
We-
You got
yeah.
me before I could get it, man.
Yeah, I was just
The mini split would look really good in your grow down in the basement, though.
I'll tell you what.
Sequence.
Yeah.
You need
It'll
that
be
mini
really
split
good
in red.
for somebody. We just don't know who to get it.
All right, all right. Well, that's
People out
cool.
there.
Ruby intro should be banging. You know what I'm saying? Should be banging.
Yes.
All that carburetor talk over there.
Yeah, you guys hear all that?
Talking
Sorry.
about old ass cars with carburetors in them.
I know.
Is that the uncle that's a comedian dude?
They're talking
Talk about a
about
lawnmower.
What the fuck is
Lawnmowers.
what his name is?
I can't remember.
I love the
we
mower.
got a foot of snow, so you got to talk about lawnmowers.
Right.
Well, I got a Cub Cadet. I stand by them.
This is Bailey.
No, man, I like my Husqvarna.
Yeah, there was no Huskies in stock.
Aw. It's a pupper.
It's Bailey.
Bailey.
Bailey
Cheers.
was my grandmother's dog. My grandmother is in a home, and she can't take care of the dog. So my mom and dad take care of the dog. So this is Bailey.
Nice.
Looks like a good boy.
She's a good girl.
Oh,
You just misgendered that poor dog, Baked.
Wait, way
Yeah,
to make assumptions.
We're gonna get our first flag on YouTube.
oh,
You didn't even ask its pronouns.
I didn't even get started. And I'm canceled.
I mean,
Ouch.
just realize that we're not going to get strikes for the mandala dicks, but we will for the
No,
misleading.
that's art.
clickbait.
You
That's
can
my
show
biggest
nudity as long as
shucks.
it's considered.
Oh,
No problem.
How are the chickens?
They're good. They are not loving the cold.
I
But
bet.
they're okay. They are okay. They've been good. I've been checking on them multiple times to make sure they're not having frostbite or any issues. But been giving them lots of warm treats and just making sure they're okay.
We
Are
got
they
No
all
eggs?
huddled around Big Mama? They just all
There's-
nestled up against her?
Yeah, they're still giving us many eggs every day.
even in the
No-
cold.
No heat lamp.
Wow.
No, heating, no
Cool.
water, no food in the coop, nothing like that. We're getting 3 eggs a day from 6 hens.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yep, we have
Close your
water and
loop.
food, but just in the run.
Yeah, no food in the coop, just in their run. When they get up and the door opens, they get to go eat and drink as they please. When they go to bed, they go to bed.
They go to sleep, so they don't need food in their enclosed area for the nighttime.
Yeah, they go up and perch. When it's
Yeah.
dark, they perch.
That's when they gossip.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh, yeah,
gossipers.
They call it hen gossip.
Yep.
Just
Clucking.
the worst
A
kind.
bunch of hens.
That's
in
the worst
in
kind of
roost.
Bunch of hen in the hen's house.
Cacklers.
I feel bad. Like I feel like I should give them heat and warmth, but they're more than okay outside, and it's all good. They're
Yeah.
fine.
We look up at the crows. They're up in the tree. They're okay.
Yep.
I want to give them sweaters and stuff.
Yeah, but you look at all the birds. They're sitting on the power lines for heat. They're sitting on the lights for heat. For heat still.
Oh
They've
yeah.
got like a down jacket on automatic.
Yeah.
So they've got that, and they puff up their feathers,
Wait a minute.
and they
Wait a minute.
tuck their feet in.
You said that's like they're wearing a down jacket. That would be like me wearing like some Buffalo Bill fucking like serial killer fucking coat of human skin and shit. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm glad
Their
you're not doing
feathers,
that. So
it's like a little down jacket on them, and they puff them up, and they look really cool.
So think about this, right? That little feather lays flat, but if it puffs up, then it adds about twice as much surface area for that cold weather to get trapped in. It adds insulate R value. There we go. R value.
Our value would be chicken
There you go.
value.
Oh, what's the R value of a chicken? Yeah.
1.
R
it
value.
depends on how deep you stack them, Baked.
Well, one chicken by one chicken.
That's there's the
We're
that's the
st- we're starting
Tyson
at the
chicken
Uten.
stacking is the way it has to be done. That's the industry standard is the Tyson.
Are you
standard.
offsetting them, or are you just doing them uniform? Like, there's a lot of.
Well, when you build a house, you just stack chickens in your walls. That adds about.
Yeah, and
a
if you
R
were to
value
do
per
one
bird.
one
So-
one layer of chickens is how many R value?
It's at least 12 R value.
So many
That's
R
pretty
values.
good. That's pretty good. Is it
I've had it
closed or
before.
open?
It's good, but it starts to stink once it warms up outside.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Yeah,
Our value goes down.
yeah, R value goes down. That's right. That's right.
What is R value?
Oh man, it's some late night sesh shit.
Oh.
All the shows turn into late sessions if you let them go
Yeah.
long enough.
This is
I've
it.
been
What do you have?
cooking this
Hold
garlic
on.
sauce.
So Jack in the pre-show asked about filtering iron out of water. I answered in the
Oh, yeah.
chat. I did a little pre-show research. They have whole house filters with special additions for removing iron from water. It's usually like an air pump or a chemical thing. There's like 3 different ways to get iron out of the water. Or you can go RO, or you can buy water from the store.
I would
Or
really,
if you only have a little bit of iron in your water, they said that water softeners get iron out of your water as well.
Um,
yeah, but you can't then use that water because there's salt in it. But
Yeah.
I would test my soil to make sure it's a problem. It
Well,
might
what
not
did
be a
he
problem.
say?
Was the iron causing problems?
I-
Because
they
usually
just
that's the
said
thing we
something
get.
about having too
Yeah,
much
that's usually one of the things that we're low in cannabis. It's a common one to be low in.
FE.
Yeah,
He was wondering if he could avoid getting a filtering system. Like there was like something to counteract iron.
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that you might be counteracting food. It might
Right.
be,
You're
Well,
creating a lockout.
his
possibly.
idea was that he had too much iron and it was locking out calcium and something else.
oh,
So that was why he wanted to try to get rid of the iron. Is what he narrowed himself the question
well, yeah.
down to.
Then, well, you have
But
an
the
issue.
only thing I thought was you're gonna have to get RO, bud. Like,
That's
just
really
go get a little. There's cheap ones for like $70 on Amazon. It's like Little Buddy, and I had one for that for a while. It's like 80 gallons a day.
If you have a really small grow, though, you could even just buy RO water.
right.
Yeah, like Sequence said, you could just. One trick I did when I had reef tanks, which will work the same. Go to Walmart, go to the fishing section, and they have blue square, like cube looking, 7-gallon water containers for boats and stuff. And you can, they have nice handles. They're strong plastic, and I would take like 2 or 3 of those to the fish store to get my water before I had RO.
Yep.
Right.
And
We used to go do it at Petco.
yeah,
When I worked at Petco, we had a big RO system, so we would just take our buckets up to work and just fill them up in the job. We'd
Yeah.
give RO water to clients and customers that would come in and buy fish, and we'd fill them up for them and send them home with RO water.
Yeah, it's not like it's an expensive thing really to
Right.
buy.
Yeah.
In the Jackson area, there's a store that's just called the Water Company, and it sells
Yeah.
RO water, and it's what is it, a couple bucks for 5 gallons?
Right.
Yeah.
can't be much. I
Means
remember
there
when I was at the
must be
fish
demand.
stores, it was like 50 cents a gallon for RO and 75 cents if you wanted it already salted for the fish. But yeah, so it was not expensive. It was just, did you want to drive across town?
Now I
But-
just we're in a market for new membranes and pre-filters and everything on ours, right? And just to change out membranes and pre-filters, it's gonna cost more than what I originally purchased the unit for.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that the unit, I could just buy a new unit today and get the same cost, because the unit itself has doubled in price since I bought it. I use a Hydrologic Evolution 1000 or 1200 with the pre-evolution filter. So in combination, there's 3 pre-filter sediment filters and 2 RO membranes. This combination of filters is like a $1,500 system. Today, I only paid like $500 for this stuff. It's crazy, man.
God damn, that's huge.
I bought it back in maybe 5 years ago, something like that. So
So how much is your blenders costing? The replacement?
The membranes, the filters?
Yeah, membranes.
$160 per membrane.
And there's 2 or 3?
There's 2 of those, and the pre-filters are between $60 and $80. Plus a carbon filter is going to be about $60 or $80.
Yeah.
The pre-filters I should have been changing like once every couple months. I don't even want to tell you how old those are. They're probably
Well, that
the same age.
that there can help give you Red a like a break point for like if a viewer is trying to figure out if RO makes more sense or buying water. It's like, how bad is your water? Because the worse your water is, the faster those filters
Yep.
go.
And
How many
that's why I
gallons do
have
you
that
need?
pre-evolution filter.
Yeah.
That pre-filter is actually supposed to extend the life of my RO.
Right. Because if your water's terrible, you might spend more money maintaining your RO system than you will buying water from somewhere else.
Just tearing them up, yeah.
Well, like here, I always rinse out my sediment filter a lot more often than other places, because it's
Right.
got a lot of, like, I don't know what it is here. Maybe it's iron. It's like orangey.
Yeah,
But yeah, a lot of that. But speaking real quick, so I was looking up my my filter, which is, I just have a Hydrologic Stealth 150. It's pretty popular, and I just found a site with these on sale for $60 instead of 115 for the membrane. But yeah, normally they're like, I think I spent $200 on, I just changed the filters, and I think I paid 150 for the unit. So yeah, it's crazy.
And something I should have been doing over the years, which will give you more life on those membranes, is properly maintaining those pre-filters. Rinse them out
Yeah.
like Bake said, or replace them regularly. That'll help keep the. Now, even though those membranes and all this system is like 5 years running, okay, I've ran thousands of gallons through this thing, it still dumps out 0 ppm, but I'm wasting twice as much more water out my waste end. You know, it's taking twice as long to fill my reservoir. Time is money, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, for us, I think the value comes in, you know, eventually making the investment to do that. But again, we know that without maintaining these pre-filters and the other filters, you know, the membranes are just going to rock. We're probably just going to have to, you know, once a month rinse, open, rinse, seals, O-rings, all of that stuff. You know, make sure you don't want to, like our biggest thing, because I spent X amount, you know, half as much on the whole system. When I take it apart and you have that big wheel, you know, that circular wrench you use to get those housings apart, don't break your housings, don't over tighten anything, replace those seals, don't make sure you're over tightening.
Do you speak from
seals.
experience, Red? Is that what you're saying? You've snapped some housings?
Yeah, because it's plastic, and over time that plastic gets a little brittle. And
can I make a recommendation or maybe a pro tip here? I learned after several years of trying and failing at getting those damn covers off, or the holders that hold the filters in, because it doesn't matter. You can hand tighten those. Over time they will get super tight and you won't be able to get them off. If you can't get it off with one wrench, do what I did and buy out all of them on Amazon. I took 3 of them, taped them together, and that thing has not failed yet. And it's worth it every single time. I just replaced mine this week, actually, earlier this week. I went to the store, and I'm curious to know your guys' opinions or experiences with this. They didn't have the normal kind of pleated style pre-filter. You know, it's got like the pleats on it, the little, like, you know, ridges that come off. It was just like the solid what's the word, cylinder, you know what I mean, it was with the hole in the center. So I don't know what the difference is on that. I don't know if I've ever had to buy that type. I've always just bought the pleated one, but they're like, oh yeah, we're out, but this one, you know, we got this one, it'll fit.
Supposedly the sediment, you can have a few different types of sediment filters. Same with the sediment filter. I believe you can also you can swap that out and utilize like an additional carbon filter or something like that if you wanted to beef up. I believe that a lot of the connections on those is the same size inlet outlet connector. The only thing you can't do is like swap out a different probably model or a different company's filter, because a lot of times those things are proprietary to the brand itself. If you go with a universal kind, if you get yourself a house filter from like Home Depot or Lowe's, those are far more universal than going through the mistake of Hydrologic or one of those green tax companies that are, you know, they're probably designed for a better flow rate. You might get less waste. I mean, there might be some advantages because they have maybe agricultural outlook to them, but a lot of just good old-fashioned home, house, plumbing equipment will work just fine.
I'd love to get like a whole home RO system. I currently, you know, we're on well and we have a water softener, and that does take care of the iron. And if it's not working properly, you'll see it pretty quickly in my RO filters on that pre-filter, the sediment filter. Like Baked was saying, it turns orange pretty quickly. That being said, I do soften my water before I send it to my RO system. That's just because that's the way the plumbing works, you know. But I also, in addition to, I think it's a small boy, or maybe it's a Stealth 150. It's a pretty, you know, fairly small one, but works for me. I also, because I'm on well water, and I've learned this from past experience, I have one of those UV filters. I believe it's called a Merlin. And it runs the water through basically a UV light filter in addition to the RO system. So not only is it removing carbon and sediment and things like that, it's also trying to kill the bacteria on the way as well. So that's another helpful thing. But I came in here, Merry Christmas, by the way, guys. I came in here, you guys were talking about iron. I mean, yeah, water softener is going to help with that. RO systems obviously going to help with that, but I don't know if there's something to just like other than like basically creating a water softener, I don't know if there's a way to combat that.
I wanted to add that the user chimed in again and said that their base ppm is 50. So you definitely don't have
Oh,
It's low.
Yeah.
That's great.
yeah.
Dude, if it's under 200 ppm,
If it's under
like, you
200,
probably
you're
have
doing good.
zero
Right.
problems.
even if your
That's
50
city
ppm
water?
is all iron, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City water? That's good city water.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
way.
If
that's
you look,
good.
if you look at
Okay.
I think I have a little bit because I ran out of Canada's CalMag, but it's I think General Hydroponics CalMag, Cali Magic, something like that. Anyways, the difference I looked on the back is it has iron in it in their CalMag. So like 50 ppms is about probably how much iron they have in that. So that's not
it's-
even
Right.
So it's really CalMag Fe.
yeah.
Let me
It's
ask you a question.
that
What
CalMag
is-
Fe.
Fe.
What's coming out of your tap? Like everybody on the panel, what are you getting out of your tap as far as your ppms? Whether you're on well, city, doesn't matter. Just what's your starting?
I don't even know because
Like
I just go straight to
350.
RO.
We're like
350.
180.
Mine's
city.
about 200. It varies between like 150 and 250.
Yeah, 150 to 200 city.
At my last place at a well, it was 350. Never
My
had a
well's,
tap.
Well,
my well's
see,
like
and
350.
The thing is let's say that you're trying to
Where
do
are you,
700
Scobo?
and, at the new place, I don't know yet. I haven't tested it because I was just watering outdoors. My old house used to be like 150 to 170, and I'm really hoping that the new city is like that. But it gets the water from Lake Huron, so we'll see.
Now, the number really is relative to what the number's made up of, right? But 50 is such a low number that even if it's all iron, you're still going to be good.
Yeah, I feel
If
like
you're at like 350, if that's all iron, maybe that's too far out of whack. It's hard to say. Your ppm can be made up of all sorts. It could be calcium, it could be phosphates, it could be also nitrogen.
Yeah.
Well,
Just for reference, the Botanicare CalMag Plus, that's what I used last time I was running any sort of CalMag additional product. It's 2% nitrogen, 3.2% calcium, 1.2% magnesium, and 0.1% iron. So it's Nichamagfi.
Well, maybe I'm
Yeah.
not right by my thinking on this, but if let's say that I'm starting with 300 ppm water, okay, and I want to feed 750. So my way of thinking would be that I need 1,050 ppms in what I'm watering, but the problem is I don't know what the 300 ppm the base starting is.
Right.
So that can really offset. I could be. I mean, in theory, I could be trying to feed a flower regimen, and I'm actually hitting him with a veg thing because I've got so much whatever in the water. It's causing.
You can get your water tested. Also,
you
if
should
you're
be
on
able
a
to get
city water
free.
source, if you're on a city water source, you can get a test result from the city. It'll
Yeah.
say what's in your water. It'll literally tell you the composition of what your ppm
If
is.
you're on city, you definitely want to do that because the first thing you want to find out is if you got chlorine or chloramine.
Which one's going to break up and which one's
Because
not?
chloramine,
Annual
Right.
report once a
chloramine
year
won't
from
leave your
your
water. Whereas if
water
you got
company.
chlorine and you got 50 ppms, even in salts, I would be tempted just to be filling up buckets and letting them sit out for 24 hours so the chlorine dissipates and using that.
Hey,
Just because to be honest, RO is great and all. I got an RO, but if we're talking like Planet and closed loops and shit, RO wastes a shit ton of water.
it does.
You dump out about 75% of what comes into that thing into the sewer. And the worst, and it's not that you're just dumping 75%, you're dumping 75% of more ppms than what came in. So if I have 350, whatever my wastewater is, it's not 350, it's something way higher than that.
Well,
I do have to agree with you that it is wasteful.
So it's just if you can't avoid it, yeah, go for it. But
only if you're
I don't
paying
know.
for it, though. Hold
So-
on, though, because if
That's,
you're on the
that's,
well
what I'm
water,
trying,
you're,
that's what I'm going to get at. It's
Yeah,
way
yeah.
out of your pocket because there's the water cycle. If it goes down the drain, it still goes back to the. It's not like burning up. You're not like destroying the water.
you're not setting it in outer space or burning it up like a,
Yeah. It's a waste of your own pocket, your own money. I guess you could say, well, there's a pump that has to push it. That pump is being ran on energy. There's fuel, fossil fuels, and all that stuff running that pump.
minute.
But yeah, I really try to find a use for that runoff if you can.
I mean, if you have an outdoor garden, that's a great place to start with it. If you can collect it somehow and use it in another way, that's a great place. If you're like me, where it's well and you're not actually paying for it, I just recycle it back to my well. You know what I mean? It's just going
Yeah,
right
mine
back into
goes
the ground.
Mine goes back into my leach field and right back to
Yeah.
my aquifer.
I will say that it can become a challenge in wintertime though, because that's got to go somewhere. And if that drain isn't indoor, well, you're probably pushing it outdoor. And guess what? That line is likely to freeze, especially in winter, like we've had in the last couple, or the cold that we've had in the last couple of days. So insulate those lines, get them, taken care of somehow. One of those great ways to do it is, get one of those electrical tapes. You can get them, they go like 20, 30 feet long. But they plug right in. They have like a 2-3 foot cord on them. You just plug it into an outlet, and then you wrap it around the plumbing that goes in or out of your building. I did that when I brought water into the building, but I have yet to do it when I'm dumping the water out, and I have had that froze over before. I will say another thing I'm openly willing to admit to, because I'm sure I've shared it in my YouTube videos, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago, whatever it's been.
Well, everybody's seen that then. Jeez. Come on.
When I was in that 2x4x5 tent, when I first started growing, I was just rolling over to Meijer and buying distilled water. It's cost effective at that scale, but when you're getting up to a certain scale, you got to kind of throw those things out the window. I will say the next step after that was getting the next step after buying gallons of distilled water, which didn't last probably more than one cycle, was leaving Home Depot buckets of tap water open and out, just exposed to the atmosphere for 24 plus hours before I used it, like I think Baked mentioned. And then after that, I finally went and bought a ppm meter, realized it was less or about 200 ppms, and I'm like, okay, we'll just use the water.
Yeah.
Today's Christmas.
Hey, real quick, guys, I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Becca wishes everybody the same. We got to jump off here and
see you, man. Have a good
spend
party.
some time with the family.
Cheers, Red. Merry Christmas.
Cheers,
Good holiday, Red.
Happy holidays to you guys. You
Right.
guys did a show tonight. Somebody needs to watch it. Later on, people. I love you all. Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you tomorrow night.
Merry Christmas, Red.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
A couple of things I wanted to jump in on. The chlorine in 24 hours. All you got to do, if you got a 5-gallon bucket, just stick your arm in there and just fucking mix the water. The bacteria in your arm will be consumed by the chlorine, and you're good. The other thing was the suggestion with using the wastewater to water your plants or water your gardens. That's fine, but not your food gardens. If you're filtering something out because you're worried about it, it's probably not good to have your plants uptake it and then eat that. So just water your flowers and shit like that, but your unedible stuff.
Hold on, but why? We're filtering out nutrients and salts because we want to start with a 0 ppm base, because that is the whole reason for having RO water.
Well, you're filtering out all the stuff that your plant can uptake, including lead and mercury and arsenic and cadmium, and you don't want to necessarily put
iron and
potatoes.
Right. No, I understand
Filtering out that dark
but,
chocolate.
But we're not filtering the rainwater. We're not filtering. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if.
What do you mean we're not filtering the rainwater?
I'm just trying to.
What the
think
hell is
about
rainwater? Explain to me what rainwater is.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's
You have no
evaporated
idea.
water that's falling back to the sky.
just-
It's just water.
It's distilled.
We know it's not pure H2O though.
It's pretty close.
It's
You might have some nitrogen in it from falling through the atmosphere, and that's why it usually greens things up. But that's pretty close.
I guess it depends on the area you live, because
Well,
I know
if you're in a
pollution-
fucking
Yeah.
if you're in
I-
Los Angeles, you're not growing in your backyard usually either.
Oh, you poor Southern California folk. But no,
Same thing. I mean, let me ask you this: why are you worried about chlorine then? You don't worry about
I'm
it.
not.
Your water in
I'm
your
on
garden.
well water. I'm not, anymore worried
Oh, I see
about
what you're
it.
saying.
When I first started, I was like, "Oh, I got to do everything perfect. Just 0 ppm's. Got to go buy distilled water." Like
I was wondering what the 24-hour thing was then. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, no, that was just my understanding at the time. But I also didn't have the understanding of just sticking my arm in the bucket. You know what I mean? I think
Well, that's only
the
for
thing.
chlorine, and then you said you don't have chlorine, so then now I don't.
I don't anymore, but I'm talking.
Oh, this is-
7,
oh,
8,
you're in a
9
different
years
location.
ago when I first
sorry.
started growing. Yeah, my 2x4x5 tent, and I was buying distilled water to try to do everything perfectly. But like at a certain point, like scalability wise, I'm not going to go jump in my pool of chlorine
Yeah.
water to get the bacteria washed out. Just like use that to feed my outdoor
Right.
garden. But yeah, I mean, I think, dude, if you're growing like in your closet, like, yeah, you can go buy water, but like, you're probably also fine with the tap water. Like, there's probably going to be very like you're probably just never ever going to see any actual negative impacts from your water. It's very unlikely. I mean, there's definitely, you know, some of us that are not in the best water situations, but I think the majority of us are going to be fine with our tap water. That being said, man, like, yeah, once you get to scale, yeah, try to clean it up. Like you are trying to like have the best practices, and if you can start with 0 ppm water, then why wouldn't you want to? You know,
I would more likely to be concerned about your water on well water than city water, and
oh, definitely.
Chlorine being in your city water.
Hey,
like,
I've done state testing on both. I know for a fact, in my my minimal anecdotal experience, that well water is typically dirtier.
Yeah,
That's
you're going to have more phosphates and nitrogen and all sorts of stuff in your well water than.
Oh my God.
When is the last time that you tested your wells? Is that something you do frequently, or
I did it 3 years ago, but yeah, probably. I mean, I feel like every 5 years is probably a good idea at least.
If you've
when
been
I lived
there
out in the country, I used to watch my neighbor across the street bury cars, washer and dryers, all sorts of shit, man. So and I don't want to say anything correlates here, but like almost every single one of my animals died of cancer that I had when I lived out there, like early. Jeez. And I had a well. So it's like, I don't know. Be careful with wells.
Heavy metals, man.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The whole home RO system. But is it true? Like, is RO water not good for you to drink all the time? Because there's like what, a lack of electrolytes.
It's non-potable, and if you in a commercial facility, you have to mark it as such, so the fire marshal will jump your ass.
I would say that it's not good for you to drink only that, but just the same as like someone was saying, it's bad to water your living soil with it. You can compensate for that, right? It's assuming you're not eating food with any sort of nutrition source in it. Yeah, it'll strip all of your minerals and you'll die or whatever, but I like to imagine that you're going to have some sort of a diet where it's not going to do that to you.
Or just like drink a Gatorade once in a while.
Right.
Like,
there's enough salt in our food.
Liquid IV, whatever it's called.
You got a baked 7.12 pH, and
that's my discharge from my RO. My input's like 350. That's my ppm's 560. It's definitely more coming out. So I just want to show chat.
Thanks for
100% more coming out. That's not how the ROs work. They capture some of it in the filters, but a lot goes right back to the city.
He doing with his left hand right now?
I'm starting the hand up because you got to make sure it's stirred to get accurate.
Okay.
But yeah,
it's like DJing over
and that's almost 1,000 mils. But yeah, just want to do a little experiment because I wasn't 100% sure. I was sure I tested when I had fish, but
right.
Yeah, it's a ton of ppms.
Your RO is
to the city filters.
Remember, it's a membrane. It's not a filter. It's not absorbing stuff. It's diverting water flow.
Right. Let's things pass through again.
Yeah.
Insane.
There's a pre-filter absorbing some stuff, sure, but the RO system is not absorbing.
Have you guys ever had your RO systems fail because your membranes were so old and clogged that it just stopped working? I assume
they get holes in them. I figured the holes would like rip out.
I had my first RO system, I think, was the same one I have now, the Stealth 150 or Small Boy or something like that, similar size. It just stopped working, and I'm like, thought there was the line was messed up or something. We swapped out the filters, like changed the hosing. I didn't know if it was frozen or what happened. Well, finally, I'm like, maybe it's the membrane, and we swapped out the membrane and started working again. But of course, it's the most expensive part. You don't have to change it as often as you do the rest. If it's your first RO system, you might not even realize you might need to change those every once in a while. But it took us 4 years, on which I don't know, at least 25% of that was well water for a membrane to fail.
I think it so if you check your water, like when at work, and we start calling the Hans people. It gradually goes up and up. So I imagine if you waited forever, it would go up and up and up until it just rejects everything. I guess you might have happened where it literally won't even let water through. And then
dude,
I don't know.
I love the size. How many gallons are those holding tanks at
55? The blue ones? Oh
no.
Those things fucking huge, man. I don't remember what that is. Is it 2,000 baked?
The sticker tank.
Oh, the big one, yeah.
The black one that we took over.
Yeah,
I think it's moved it, Empty.
I think it's
Well, there was
12,000.
there's some
It's
water in it.
with 4 different
Let's see.
high-lows.
It's at least
No,
it's
just,
like
I'm
20
just
feet
saying those are
tall.
Yes, 20 feet
I'd
tall.
say 20 feet tall, and it's like diameter is like 6 feet, maybe more, maybe
think it's more
7.
than that.
I'd say it's closer to 10, dude.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
probably-
huge. So yeah, I'd probably say 2,000 gallons, but that's why we got the Hans pump out like 16
thing is
gallons a
amazing.
minute of RO.
The thing is
Oh.
absolutely amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That Hans thing was probably the best
Yeah.
fucking thing in that whole building.
Yeah,
What got me is when we walk through the back door, like you go down the hallway and then you walk through and there's the stairs that go up to the veg and there was that just gigantic fucking res. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck is
Yeah.
this? This is the craziest shit, man.
well, it's nice now. It's all automatic. So like there's a float valve. So like the Hans is hooked up, and the Hans will turn on if it
Can
needs
you show
to.
us one of those? Can you bring one of those up? Han?
Yeah.
While he
let's
does
see.
that, I did the math on the side because I learned not to do that live. It's probably about 1,500 gallons if it's 20 by 10.
You're probably right. I bet both these guys failed math class.
Yeah, I don't.
I
definitely
was
didn't.
bad in math too. Why not? Fuck it.
I had to take Calc 4 twice. I'm not.
It's one of
really
those
sure
things
that-
where you're like, why am I ever going to need geometry? And then you're like, what's a 20 by 10 cylinder volume?
Pi r squared? What is that? Wait, what is the Pythagorean theorem?
Dude, I've needed math so much more since I've tried to do this shit.
Right.
And I always was like,
The
well,
res says it right on the side. I'm pretty sure it's 2,000. It was either 1,500 or 2,000. It
I'll
says it
check.
right
I'll
there.
check tomorrow, and we'll be for sure at a late night.
January
so
quarter
rude.
is pretty bad, I guess.
Yeah,
like
it does say it on the side, Spartan. I just can't remember because I never need to look.
As
But
long as it's topped off, we're good.
yeah, I got the Hans thing. Let's see.
What was crazy is when they did, what was it? Canna Cribs. When Canna Cribs went out to Pleasantries, and I watched that episode. They had like 4 of those Hans units baked. 4.
Oh, I know.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
needing that much? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's crazy.
That's
Here's
expensive.
some
How about their
Skilbo
water
or
supply? Like, you
Let
got to
me
imagine
hear.
they've got a pretty beefy water supply just to be able to run them all.
yeah. Well, that's one thing the city's real big on us for is we now actually have to submit. We've got a holding tank for like dirty water, like runoff, and so we have to get that pumped out. And they started wanting the tickets for that, like the invoices, and because I think all the grows in the area were smashed in the sewage system, and you can't
Yeah.
do that because the sewage system essentially is a city-sized RO filter, and
And they were
then
blowing-
they're just swapping out filters at that place, and except they're filtering out shit too, and like so.
Are you guys diluting the water in that tank before you send it to the sewer? Because I know that if in terms of like
We don't dilute it. We don't send it to the sewer anymore.
Okay.
So that was like when they started, and then they didn't know you had to. And then this particular city or area made us put in like a probably 2,000 gallon deep tank in the ground that just fills up, and then they come suck it out like a septic
Like a
guy
septic.
type of
Okay.
thing.
Interesting.
But we have one of these. I don't know which one. I think we have the one with 3 filters, but up to 9 gallons per minute. Oh no, we have this one up to 16.
I was gonna say it goes.
I've
yeah.
definitely seen 16. I just
Yeah.
thought this looked like it had more filters, but look. But anyways, you got a little screen on here. We don't even fuck with it because it's a lease, and so we just make sure the numbers are right,
called
right there.
service, right?
And if it starts creeping up, PPMs, we're like, yo, they come out. Usually, like the next day, we had an issue once, but that's because they thought we were somebody else. But it turns out, I believe, if you want to do some digging, this is a Michigan company, but the owner of this company is the same guy that owns 5 Hour Energy. And
Well, that's Farmington Hills too. He's also a Michigan
funny.
guy.
okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big
Farmington
water
Hills.
guy, and the guy that came by the first time, I'm pretty sure Spartan was there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I love 5 Hour Energy. I pound those. I used to take so many." And then he like lifts up
He's
his
had a
shirt,
heart attack.
and he's got a scar
He's
here. And he
got-
goes, "Yeah, one time I took like 3 in a row, and I had to have a liver surgery or something like that, some kidney surgery or liver." And it was like, and he brought us a whole case of them. And I was like,
How's
Knock
the-
yourself dead,
they're
guys.
still in the kitchen. Nobody wants them.
Dude, they taste so bad.
But yeah,
Probably
the
like
Hans
tangy
filters are
sour.
cool.
Berry one like tastes like throw up to me.
It's like drinking pills that are ground up into some sort of fluid.
Yeah.
Like
There's like sediment in it. It is horrible. Ugh.
I've
Yeah,
never
they're
had I've never had a 5-hour energy that I thought tasted even remotely good or even tolerable. They're
never
always
tried
you
that.
like try not to gag when you fucking take them.
well, there goes our chance of getting sponsored by this water RO company. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Or 5-hour energy.
Well, I don't know how much that's doing for.
We
us,
aren't
but-
doing 5-hour shows. We're good, man.
That would be key to that sponsor.
I
If we
want to
were
be
doing
clear. I want to be clear. Hans, we want your water filter sponsorship.
Yeah,
We
get
don't.
bogged
We just
down.
don't care about your energy drinks. It's a personal preference. Your water filters are the bomb.
We've got a guy named Gabe that could really test out one of your filters.
I definitely. I've seen a smaller one than what I just showed everybody at the local store, Spartan. Maybe it's just maybe it's just a cut in half one or something for display, but it was like a tiny one, like literally like two tubes,
At
two of those
Mighty Row?
big tubes. Yeah, no, it was at Hydro.
Oh, of
Probably
course.
just
How much is one of those Hans unit gonna run anyway? Just for
I don't know.
propaganda
I've never found
Thousand?
out. Let me see if I can Google it. See,
I'm gonna
'cause
say
we
expensive. We just leased
Yeah.
it, right?
yeah, we just leased it.
Yeah.
That's the
Let's
way
see.
to do it with equipment like that.
It was dope too because it had a cell signal or some shit, so that when it got to a certain parameter, it would just shoot them a text and they'd come out and fucking fuck with it.
Yeah,
They'd be
it's Wi-Fi enabled and all that for sure.
The
like,
machine.
you don't even
I
have to tell them; they'll just come out and do it.
Don't look at the Google reviews. Oof.
Oof.
Oh, really?
Was it a 5-hour
Yeah.
energy review?
Sounds like someone could need one. They even with water softeners, they even like lease those out. I guess when I was looking at houses,
Way
they're
to
like,
do it,
oh, this
man.
one owns it, this one doesn't. But well, dude, when I was at Costco the other day, it was $400 for water softener.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
a wear item. Like, why
How
buy it?
much? Well, how much does it cost to lease it? It just doesn't.
Or like, imagine if you could lease a water heater.
Wonder.
Be like, fuck yeah, I'll lease a water heater. It's probably cheaper than buying a new one every 5 years.
Dude, you know what's
I don't know. I'm
water
more about
heaters?
buying
That's
cars
the
than
longest
leasing cars, though.
Water heaters used to last like 10, 15, 20 fucking years. Now
Yeah.
it's like they tell you they only last for 5. You're
Well,
like, okay, well, how much is a hot water heater? Well, it's $1,200. Okay, bet. How much is it going to cost to have this water heater installed? Oh, well, fuck, $1,200. God, you're like, dude, this gets
I
really
Yeah.
expensive
would
real
myself.
quick.
Did
And
our
if you have
boomer just say
crazy hard
that?
water, you're going to go through a hot water heater even fucking faster.
Yeah.
Some hard ass water.
I don't know. Mine's like 18 years old and still rocking, but I not
Yeah, mine's
because that thing's going
You got a
down
good water
soon.
supply for sure.
You still have the old ones. That's why.
That's
Wait,
true,
till
I
you
got-
go-
Yeah.
It still works before the plan of obsolescence.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking Apple, damn it.
I have replaced a water heater one time in this house, but I do have city water, so that probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it helps a lot. For sure, for sure.
Coming up on hash time, 2 minutes
Ooh.
away. Give you guys a chance to gather your accoutrements and get your concentrate jars. Hopefully,
look at-
Becca,
I was going to get.
Becca has been able to sneak out, get that dab, or get that joint. The thing is,
Look
she
at this
shouldn't have to
sweet
sneak. You've
sweatshirt.
smoked around all those people before. That's dope, bro. That's dope. Ooh,
Hey,
you
lady,
got it
got
on the
me-
arm too? What? I didn't see that. There you
So
go.
this is a company that's paired up with merchandise for the Lions. It's a local Detroit company. So she wanted to spend money locally and not with $1 billion franchise. So she spent it with a local Detroit company. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
I thought, yeah.
Do you want to show off that RC car too, since we're doing show and tell for toys?
No, I've just all put away. It's downstairs.
No, that's
So when's that
tucked in.
battery going to be here, bro? That's what we want to know. Me and
Thursday.
Chad.
You can be proud of it.
I am proud of it. By the way, if Noob Grows is watching, my truck is literally called a sport. So RC rock crawling is a sport. Come at me, bro.
Boom, boom.
It's got
Boom.
sport on the side of it. I'll take a picture and show you.
Throwing down before hash time, bro. I hope you have some
Taking
hash.
pictures,
to dip
Hey,
into, man.
speaking of hash time and spending money with local businesses, I want to show you guys my ugly Christmas
That's
sweater.
as much of a sport
I
as
deliver.
shooting is a sport.
There we go.
Right on. I like the wink
I
too.
like it, Groli.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I saw that at Spencer's. That was one of the ones. that
Really?
we plated. Yeah.
I must have got this on Amazon, or actually, my wife might have got this for me.
Amazon, what is wrong?
I saw a sweater that said, "All Santa got me was mids."
Well, I think that was Boof and Mids, right?
Yeah.
We're smoking some of Bake's Chernobyl. Thank you, Baked.
That's pretty good. I like
Hash
Blake,
time.
if you let that cure, have you gone back to it and smoked it again? That lime comes back. That lime comes out way more.
I thought that today when I popped open the jar to get them some, and I was like, okay, because I also right here I have some M3 grown Chernobyl, which leans way more lime, and
Nice.
which is interesting because
It
the other
is.
one's like it's like a different smell. I don't think it's smellier. I just think it's just straight lime, and
So let's come at you
Yeah.
with a hostile line of questioning, Bake. What do you
Hostile.
think that you are doing incorrectly that makes it not straight lime like that?
incorrect. I don't think that's what I mean. I don't think it's
Did you use
incorrect.
Mammoth P?
I think it's a different expression.
Did you
Yeah,
use
I used Mammoth P.
And you used Canna on that one?
Yep, Canna and Mammoth P. It's HLG LEDs, but I think the LEDs wouldn't really matter too much, because it's just blasting.
Just the
800
spectrum, maybe.
ppm CO2.
It's just it's got to be the fucking there's
I
more,
bet if you ran HPS, it'd be
more microbes in the peat, and it's fucking
That's
all
the
the organic
yeah.
bullshit that they're kicking out that's making it a little
be.
bit
Yep.
more trippy.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, that's what I'm interested in. Like, I really need to test it. Like, do it side by side and then just test it. Like, and it'll be simple. What has more terp content?
Go get you a sip container, get you a bag of M3, and you're good.
Who are you talking to? You don't think I got sip containers? I got
I'm
one,
sure
two,
he gave
three.
you one.
Yeah,
Three.
but you got those big earth boxes. I'm not a big fan of those ones. man.
See, you can't.
Well,
You can't
okay,
be
let's-
beggars
Beggars
can't be
and
choosers.
choosers, yeah,
You can't.
man.
Well, man, you dog in the earth boxes.
So why don't you like them as much as
They're
the
too deep.
city pickers?
They're too deep. I don't like that much volume.
Could you just use less soil?
What's the depth difference?
No.
Can you not reach the bottom or what?
Yeah, like how deep is too deep, Spartan?
I'm gonna Google it. 8 inches on earth box.
Hey,
I've
new
got
lady,
some
there's your
tips
joke.
So
right there. Make
they're
it
they're really deep.
I
and they're
Chose to be
long.
lady on Christmas.
Hey,
Nice
average
skin
is like
for
6
being
inches,
good this
though, right?
year.
Yeah.
Right?
Skinny.
Right?
Weatherman said someone's getting 3 inches.
Yeah,
Someone's
I was
getting-
told I
it
was
sounds like someone's getting
9.6.
disappointed,
I
is what
lied,
it sounds like.
Yeah, man, I got
City pickers deeper.
You said
No,
it's guilt.
It's
No,
9.5 inches. And an earth box is
looking
earth
at
box is 11. So 2 inches deeper.
and it's a whole different shape. You can get 4 boxes in a 4x4.
That's what I do like. If you're an indoor
earth
grower and
boxes
you got
in a
4x4s, yeah, for sure.
And you can get
but
4 city pickers.
Can you get city pickers in different colors?
Yes.
You can spray paint them.
Yes, you can. And you can get them at Home Depot, and you got to order the motherfucker.
Oh,
no
big
shipping
box store,
charges.
corporate America.
Say
Or you
fuck
can get
you.
them at
That's
Lowe's,
Amazon.
Amazon is now
That's
telling me to go
Amazon.
shop at Home Depot.
or you can get them at Lowe's, or you can get them at Meyer. You
What
can
about
get 'em at a lot
Menards?
of
Don't forget Menards. Throwing
I like
I
Menards.
don't know. I'm sure Menards did. I didn't see
They
them there.
stopped their rebate
either.
system.
They did not, did they?
I like their bag.
I
Fill
think
up the bag.
temporarily, but
Is
yeah.
that your favorite rebate system?
I was going to
yeah.
say.
Yeah, so
11%.
now
What do
they
you
just
mean?
getting straight up shafted.
What are your
So-
top 5 favorite rebate systems?
I never met the rebate system till Menards, where it's like forced upon
Menards.
you.
It's 11%, baby.
It's like, what in the hell? And it's trickery. It's the way they do it sometimes. Like, here's the sticker. Or if you go to their website, they're going to show you the rebated price. And you're going to be like, oh, sweet, I'm going to the store to
Yeah,
get 10 of
that's
those at $5 each. You get there, it's $6.50. Holy moly, that added up. You know, and then you're like, oh, I get a rebate. Cool. I'm going to get a check in the mail. No, you get a check to Menards in the mail in case you need more shit from them,
Yes.
which is cool, but like,
What's the Menards credit?
Some
I don't know.
store credit.
Just
That's
give me
even
the
funnier.
just give me the 11% off straight up.
That's like getting paid in script.
hmm
Getting paid in kind, baby.
And then my problem with my local one is they're worse than Walmart, was 10 years ago, where it's like 80 lanes, you got two cashiers and
I feel you. That's true, man. That's very
Oh.
true.
They
You
also
wait a-
got
you wait a while.
They got fined like federally for price gouging at the beginning of the pandemic. Menards did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and part of the like deal with that whole thing was they weren't allowed to. I believe this is part of the deal. They weren't allowed to let anyone under the age of 16 in their store for some reason.
For price gouging?
It was all connected at the beginning.
That's
of the pandemic.
weird.
It was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I don't know, it was weird. It was weird.
That was before I got here, but yeah.
I think something was connected with the 16-year-olds and all the missing toilet paper.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
That was what it was.
But yeah, so back to the city pickers.
So Spartan
I
was
don't know,
wrong.
2 inches. You think 2 inches depth makes a difference? If we disclude the fact that 4 fits perfectly in a 4x4.
This is what I'm going to tell you before you want to look
Is
anything.
that a serious question?
I have a city picker and I have an earth box. I've grown in them both, and I like the city picker way the fuck better by a lot. Is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Your system works well with that. You got that figured and dialed in, man. Keep
So
doing
you
what
can
you're
take-
doing with it.
You can take whatever measurement you want and whatever.
Stick it up your
What I'm,
ass.
what I'm saying is I've got them both, and I've only got one earth box, and I've got about 12 city pickers.
All right, but that's why I'm going deeper, and I'm asking why. Like, what
Because they
did
said
you
the
keep
volume-
of your earth
because I
boxes?
felt-
The
because
2
I felt
inches
like-
made it that different?
Yeah, because I felt like there was just so much more moisture in there that the roots kind of suffocated from it.
Okay.
Maybe you're
That's
just
all. That's it.
overwatering, bro.
Well,
Do what? Over what?
That's
Do you
what-
understand, do you understand what a
says.
chip container is?
Yeah, it's a chip
Let's pull up a diagram, Jamie. No,
So
I
you
like
water- you
the
water a
earth
water bus
boxes.
underneath.
I didn't mind my earth boxes. I definitely like the peppers, liked them, and the what's it called this year? Liked them, the lemon balm.
Lemon balm.
Yeah, that
Baked,
shit
you got a
took
question
off.
in
but
chat.
That was
Baked.
some fire lemon balm. I'll give you that. That was some fire lemon balm.
What other nutrients should you use? All right, I'll tell you mine. I use Power Psi, and then in flower I use Power Psi Bloom, and then I use, this is in order. Then I use Canna CalMag. Then I use A and B. Then I use Rhizo, Canazyme if it's in veg in the beginning of flower. If it's the end of flower, then I use PK, and I don't use the Canazyme and the Rhizo. And
Boost?
then flower, the whole time flower I use Boost. And then I also use Mammoth P. And that's it.
Do you use the Rhizotonic the whole time, or do you discontinue that?
No, Rhizotonic I use pretty much full strength in veg, but then in the beginning, like first 2 weeks of flower, because I believe there's still some root growth in flower. Some people I know don't, but I think at least I've seen it in the first 2 weeks of flower, roots have grown.
Well,
So
they're
at the very
strong, the roots
least,
are growing.
yeah, at the very least I know that. So I give it some, like, I don't know, I'd say 40% strength Rhizo and
Right.
Canazyme.
For like the
And
first 2 weeks,
Canazyme,
3 weeks.
I learned recently Canazyme is a little, I don't know, maybe it was just me that had this idea about it, but it's like a root, everybody thinks it's a root cleaner, right? It's an enzyme. It's actually an enzyme kind of catalyst, and it's actually does a lot with nitrogen and allowing the plant to use up nitrogen and stuff. So I recently read about Canazyme, and it's not quite the root cleaner that I always thought it was. So I definitely want to use that though in the beginning of flower to use up all the nitrogen. And so, but I cut it off about the second or third week of flower, and then it's just it's Bloom, CalMag, AB, and PK until flush. So
PK
I
13,
did
14.
Yeah, PK 13,
You had
14.
that the whole flowering period, or just like for a
No,
week,
so like here, I'll give it a rundown. Veg is always the same. It's 15. I followed power size rules, whatever it is. It's like 0.5 per gallon, regular power size. CalMag, I do 5 mils a gallon throughout the whole grow. Whenever I add CalMag, it's 5 mils a gallon unless I see something different with the plant or pheno.
Did you say what brand CalMag do you use?
I now use Canna. Canna has one.
They
When I
have their
used
own
to use Canna, they didn't have one, but now I use
Right.
it.
I haven't used them since they've
It's pretty
introduced
cheap,
that.
so I grabbed a 5 liter of that.
Nice.
Then I use 15 in veg. I use 15 mils of A and B, and I'm using RO water. Keep in
15
mind
mils per gallon.
per gallon. Yep.
Okay.
Then I use Canazyme. I use 5 mils per gallon of each of those.
What do you mean each of those?
Each gallon.
Per gallon,
Yeah,
it's
it
5
gets-
mils per gallon of Rhizo and
I'll say
5
the
mils
same.
per
Dude,
gallon of
Oh, you're saying
Canna.
about the extras. Okay.
Rhizo.
Yeah, not
I
combined.
don't think
Yeah,
he's
my
fed
bad.
Rhizo.
For me, when I
Oh.
used to watch Vader OG videos, he was the guy that was using the Canna shit, and I would watch him make up those reses, and I looked up like, oh, how much is this shit, man? And I realized how many fucking milliliters he's putting in for a res, and I'm going, Jesus Christ, this weed is so fucking expensive at this price point, man. Holy
I don't
shit,
find it
dude.
too bad because my yields are really good.
It's
And
it's one of the most
Yeah.
stable. I because of Vader and that crew, I ran that and flood and drain for a long time, just like he did. It is some of the most pH stable nutrients I've ever used. I will give them that for
You don't
sure.
see the shift like over the 7 days.
I mean,
of the
yeah,
res.
6-7 days, and you're within 0.2 plus or minus. You know, where most of them are could be plus or minus point or 1.0. You know what I mean?
yeah, I like
That's
it.
the whole point. Shit.
I like it. I just added the tweaks with the silica and the Mammoth P, But I don't know. It's been around for like 30, 40 years with flowers at least, and it's also designed for runoff, which I personally, if I'm growing salts, I am used to and like the runoff method, pour through or drip through, and till it runs off, and so that's what I've grown accustomed to. But yeah, I guess I could make a chart one day and show my nutrient regime is pretty easy. It's 3 parts: veg, early flower, and late flower. Well, 4 parts and flush. And that's what I find. The Canzyme really flushes well. So it
I
gets it
thought you
out
said it
there.
wasn't a root cleaner though.
I mean, not the Canna products.
Oh,
So like I flush it out and like I find my smoke is super clean and,
so you just
and,
flush it with like pure RO water for
pure
like,
RO. I go
3,
well.
5
Sorry,
days?
I do pure RO water with Mammoth P up to the end. I give it
Right
microbes up
there.
to the end.
Okay.
You know what I would say,
People think
Bake?
it's a waste, but I found a yield and a taste. I've had people that
Right.
are like, "Oh, your Donnie's better than mine," like, and they grow Canna. So I was like, okay, well maybe it
I
was.
was gonna
And
say,
the only
Bake,
thing
whatever
different
you're
really we
doing,
did was Mammoth.
whatever you're doing, keep doing it, brother, because your fucking smoke is sticky, frosty, and really, really terpy. Everything that I'm getting from you is great. So I mean,
I'm
your
thinking
smoke has to speak for itself,
I'm thinking we'll keep running Canna in the forge, but I'm also like tossing out the idea since we have 2 identical rooms of running a no-till in the one room and salts in the other. But
I think you should do it side by side in the same room.
could do that too. Could do
That
that.
way it's
We'd
the
have to
same
do
environment,
We'd
you
have
know?
to do pots though in that, like
Yeah,
put them
whatever you
in the
gotta do, man.
tray. But we could do that, like 10 gallons or something like that. Whatever would fit.
We can put them in fucking city pickers.
City pickers, exactly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I've never
Call
tried a
back,
city
Martin.
picker, but I looked
First
him up when
time.
he told me about them, and they're good price, and yeah, I like how they're cube. But they come with wheels too, so we could do that. That's
Yeah,
what's cool. They do come with wheels.
Cool.
I've
So
got
they're
a
definitely.
I've got a question related to what you mentioned maybe 5-10 minutes ago, Baked. Regarding I think Canna, what's the rhizotonic and the root
Mhm.
growth. And I've used Canna products. I use them for several years. I think they're great. And I mean, there's not really one that I didn't like, to be honest with you. It's just a couple things I added to it. With the rhizotonic, though, you mentioned how you seem to see root growth in the first like 2 weeks of flower. I tend to agree with you in that, unless you're allowing your plant to get root bound in veg and before it even gets the flower,
Yeah.
or the timing is just right in which it's kind of getting root bound in flower too. I've seen that as well. We all have our timing, and sometimes we push our mothers too long or perpetually cloning or whatever it might be. But getting these plants cycled quickly seems to keep their health up. You know, you push them too long and it just asks for more problems. But that being said, one of the things we talked about back in the Grow Tube days with like the Mendo Dope Boys is how they're, you know, they were transplanting and then immediately putting into flower. So they transplant into much bigger plots and then immediately put it into flower. And I kind of like, you know, my understanding at the time was like, well, you kind of want like 2 weeks and like the final pot to transplant to kind of build that root base and then put it into flower and everything. But I was also coming from the standpoint of like cocoa and synthetic salts and stuff like that. Now that I'm growing organically, I've kind of shifted a little bit because I'm kind of trying that out and I feel like it's working pretty decently. So what I've been doing recently is the day I put them into flower, I take them from their 3-gallon pots and put them right into their 10-gallon pots and just chuck them into flower. And
you're talking no-till, right? Because you're now organics, right?
It's a super soil. I don't really want to call
Super
it no-till.
soil. Okay,
but
okay.
Yeah.
Organics, let's say.
Yeah,
Right.
But fucking
well,
Spartan.
What I would say is that I used the 4x8 raised garden beds, and I never changed it. I would just transplant plants into it for a long time. So that's how my shit did it. But I did notice, going back to the amount of soil, is that you don't always see, especially if you're not using SIPs, you won't always see your roots hit the bottom if you get in something too deep and you flip right away. So you know, your mileage may vary, but outside is going to be a completely different.
So what you're saying for growers, you went from a 3-gal to a 10-gal immediately at flower day one.
Yep,
and
changed
you
to 12-12.
and by the end of that flower, that 10-gal, and when you dumped it or whatever, well, maybe you didn't dump it, but you knew it had taken over that 10-gal.
So every pot I've dumped, and I dumped a lot of them in the last like month. I'm actually saving them for outdoor. I'm putting them all in this big, actually reusing the yard bags that I got, and I'm just putting all the root balls back into it, so I can use it for outdoor. But yeah, I mean it's fully, you know, what you would expect, just like full root ball.
Okay.
You know, nothing's falling apart except maybe a little of like the worm castings at the top are left over,
Right.
You know, a little bit at the bottom of the corner that fell out or whatever. But I mean, every single root ball I've taken out has stayed together from the time I dumped it out into my trailer, took it and threw it in the bin. They were all still solid. So, you know, it doesn't seem to be an issue, but one of the reasons I was doing that is I'm just like, I feel like I'm still not getting enough mileage out of the soil I'm putting in there, the money I'm putting into it. And I'm really trying to not spend more money on adding more nutrients to these pots and stuff. You know, I want to just like utilize what I have and try to get the best out of what I'm working with.
Then why are you throwing all the root balls away then?
No, I'm not. I'm saving them.
You said you're not getting enough.
Keep them in the pot and replanting them and then go again.
Yes, I agree.
Just remend.
With that,
That's my first question. If you're doing true organics, don't get rid of your soil. It only gets better if you keep reinventing.
With some BioLive, and what was the other one?
You're doing it responsibly by reusing it, but like, why not just keep it and reamend? I would do that for sure.
That's the way that
that's how the bugs and stuff get better, and the microbe populations get stronger.
Dude,
that's when you start getting little bugs, and you're just like, "What's that?" And it's all good shit. It's all working together.
Working.
Your new roots follow your old roots right through the soil.
But
no problem.
I mean, think about it right now. That's how you can really get to the point to where you're not really have a whole lot of input costs. You're other than electricity, but
yeah, and you're saving time on peat, aeration. Minerals,
time, effort.
There's not far from cooking your eggshells and banana peels, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I do that with my outdoor
the
stuff.
Chickens eat all that, but
that's
I do some compost.
I like the idea of like putting up like 4x4 beds. You know, you just bang out 4x4 beds in a row like it's a commercial setting where they're in a line and maybe they're on a table that moves, and so you got 4x4 beds. You're just keeping that soil forever. Like I think there's a company called No Till Kings in California that does it.
Baked, you know what the secret is when you do these beds is to get a nice pallet and put it underneath like a 4x4, and then make sure you put the really heavy casters underneath it with the wheels.
Yeah.
Do not make the mistake of setting these on the fucking basement floor, because you'll never ever be able to move them. Even when Sequence tells you can just use a bar. I didn't want to.
I just hate using wood. I hate using wood.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah, but are you
if
using
you could find something like the plastic pallets that we
You
get
can
at
get
work.
plastic
the
pallets.
tray?
Yeah,
Use
they're
a tray.
black and heavy duty.
We could just
Jack
put
'em
we could get a grassroots fabric pot and just put it inside of
tray.
put it right inside of the regular fucking table, dude, that has a tray in it.
That's what I was thinking, Spartan.
Yeah.
I was thinking about putting it in a fast fit tray somehow. Even if we couldn't use the tray, you
Get a
use
lower
the
one,
stand, you
like
use
the
the
one you have.
stand, and you put something
But you
not
can't use
wood,
wood,
but
though.
like a piece
So-
of
Yeah.
there's something out there. I'll find it.
Yeah.
And- and-
Stainless steel.
and it
just
yeah,
cheap, like
yeah. I'll go
stainless
get
steel.
some cheap steel
Just gotta
and
support
put it
it
in there.
enough. Get an extra
Yeah.
set of fast fit bars. It'll be fine.
That would be
Exactly.
better. That would be
Yeah.
better for the aeration around the sides, honestly.
But yeah, I mean that would be my ultimate organic run.
That'd be
Is to
cool.
go back to the beds. The beds were real fun. I like
Well,
them.
We could do
there's
that
one
in
thing-
on that table that you got that's shorter. We got the shorter legs.
Yeah,
We could
yeah.
do that in that.
Yep, exactly. And then they're real low, and you can grow whatever you want organically, like some GMOs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Triple burger run.
I want to go back to Fagroli's talking about super soil, and there's a couple of things that I want to point out about it. One is that sometimes the shit that we're putting in that super soil, if we don't let it quote unquote cook long enough, it's not about a matter of it being hot, it's a matter of it being like available to things. So when you get rid of your soil, you're leaving so much behind that's untapped in that would, if given enough runs, would really start to break down and get into that living soil cycle of just fucking breaking down and becoming available and shit. And the roots themselves too. Like in the beginning, one of my mistakes was that I would remove, large portions of the root ball so that I would have the ability to plant from like one of my other fabric pots into the 4x8 bed. And then it was just like, no, maybe what I should do instead is just cut that really low to the ground and then plant next to it. So I wasn't really getting any soil out. Man, after 2 years, that soil was fucking dynamite, man. Dynamite. And I
Yeah.
still got it. Like when
And-
I moved, the big thing was like, how am I going to get all this soil? Everyone's like, you're not going to leave that behind. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not leaving that soil behind, man.
Right.
So that was when I
Uh,
was trying to get the totes from
it's-
baked and everything else.
And what do you guys think about this idea with organics? I was thinking about this the other day at work. Bavaria bassiana, the spore.
BB, yeah.
So, yeah, that's almost to me like if you use it right, like a organic reset. So shit's not going, right. Maybe shit's a little funky in your batch. Start Bavaria bassiana, kill everything, and then re-amend after you flush out. I don't
That's
know.
why I still haven't
What do you
used
think about that?
I talked to you guys about it maybe like a month ago at this point. I didn't know BioSafe Systems sold Bavaria bassiana.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
found a strain of it at Hydro Pros. It's like, I can't remember what it's called right now, but the bag is still sitting there with the rest of my microbes because I'm like, I use nematodes and stuff, predator mites every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I don't know
like,
what it kills and stuff. So
everything's
Bavaria
soft body.
bassiana will kill all soft body insects. It's like a fungus.
so it
and,
doesn't kill like microbes.
No.
Right.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
right.
It comes from.
I thought it made it like a contamination.
No, it's not
zone.
like a sterile reset.
No.
It's
Okay,
more
all
like
right,
a,
all right.
insect reset.
And probably the
Gosh.
best deal you're gonna find on it. You can get the pure spore from Brandon Rust.
Yep. I got some.
So do I at Bokashi Earthworks.
I keep it on deck. It's like a weapon for a grower. I've used it in cocoa and watched it take it because cocoa. I'm pulling out the pot and watched it take over. It's really cool.
Mhm.
But
Haven't
Yep.
used it yet, but I don't know. Keeping it on hand, just as a kind of like you're saying. I kind of think of it as a reset too. But I'm like, well, do I use it just in flour? Do I start it in veg and just let it? Like,
oh
you know what I
yeah,
mean? One of the other things before we
Started in
move too
veg.
far along is, speaking of reusing soil and organic, super soil, living soil, whatever you want to call it, whatever I'm doing right now. I have bumped up, from the 5 and 7 gallon pots to the 10 gallon pots. Everything I have in flour, and even half my veg right now, or at least the mothers are in 10 gallon pots. That being said, I think most, if not all of us, have been through Winewood. We see what size pots he's using.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not really. I mean, I'm definitely rocking less light and everything, but my plants aren't any smaller,
But
and they're in 10 gallon pots right now. So one of those things I feel like I need to do if I'm actually going to reuse my soil is to up my pot size significantly.
For sure.
That's why, if possible, if you could get 4x4 beds in there, a 4x4 bed filled, I think I did the math, it's like 75% full. So not all the way to the brim is like 160 gallons divided by 4 plants. That's what, I don't know.
40.
I'm not good. 40 gallons a plant.
Come
Boom.
on, man.
Hey, a lot of smokage, but
Geometry.
yeah, a
I
lot
would
of
say
About
geometry.
math classes he failed. He said geometry, but
I
no,
would say 6 cubic feet per 4x4.
so
is
baked.
what I
I
would say.
have
Yeah,
I have 2 of
yeah,
those
which
fast fit
is a
tables,
lot.
2 4x8 fast fit tables with the Scrog bars.
Yep.
They're the shallow tables. They're not like the real deep, expensive Botanicare ones or anything like that, but they're the kind of cheaper, shallower ones. Spartan would probably like those ones because I do have in my bedroom. I have the more expensive one. I guess it's a deeper one.
Thicker plastic.
It's like, just
I
kind
know
of
what you're
more of a
talking
pain in the ass
about.
to work with. You know,
Yeah.
trying to get in and out of that
But you
room.
know it'll hold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not, if I knock it over or something, it's not gonna crack or anything. But and if I walk on it, if I need to like work with a light or something like that, it'll hold my giant ass too. But I have 2 fast fit tables, 4x8 with those beds in it, and then my other side of the room is just all plants on the ground. Everything that goes in 10-gallon pots, and so it's like whether the plant is 4 feet tall or 6 feet tall, it's all in 10-gallon pots. It's all vegged out various times. Like some of them are mothers that have been sitting in veg for months and have taken several rounds of clones off of. Some of them are the ones that just came literally that same day from 3-gallon pot and got thrown in, fresh soil and just shoved into the new table or whatever. But and it sounds like you guys agree. I feel like the pot size needs to increase if I'm going to start reusing my soil. And do I want to stick with plastic pots or do I go fabric? Does that make a difference when it comes to like living organic?
So if maybe you can't fit the 4x4 beds, one time I did 100-gallon Radical bag and it was like $40 because it was on sale instead of like 60. And the problem why I choose the beds over is the Radical bag was like 1.5 feet tall. So you really had to like work to get the whole thing moist and keep it moist. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't, but I get it.
I was waiting for Spartan. But no, so like I don't know. It's and that was really hard to keep wet because it was a Radical bag, which is very aerated, on the sides compared to
I
even
know
a
exactly
fabric
what you're
bag.
talking about. I have I use Radical bags, and I liked them at first, and then I hated them.
For organics, exactly. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is cool," but then, I was like, "Oh, this is not cool." It's drying out too quick on the whole side. That too, they run out the sides. So I don't know, man. If you're sticking to pots, I would still stick with plastic because, in my opinion, they're easiest to clean. You can reuse them for years. But I'd rather you go beds. If you're going no-till, I think I vote beds. Big beds.
Fabric seems a popular choice with that.
I would say plastic. I mean, if you're doing a bed, you have to do fabric.
Yeah, you have to do fabric for a bed. But
or you could do like what I did with those old flood and drain reses, the 40-gallon Botanicare ones. I just drilled holes in them, took all my old soil, put them outdoors. They're outdoor beds inside of my outdoor garden.
Here's the problem with that. So just like with the Radical bag, the bottom 2 inches I filled with the jumbo size Hydroton balls because I wanted to make sure I wasn't on the ground and I had aeration underneath.
Yeah, so I not only did I
so you would need to make sure of that because
I used I think it was a 2-inch hole saw to put several holes in there, but I actually lined the whole bottom with wood.
That was Hugo culture res, man.
Okay.
Fuck
like old logs and stuff, and then I feel like I put something else in there, maybe some smaller sticks or leaves or something before I put in the old dirt. But yeah, I mean technically it's probably only 2/3 old soil. The rest of it was like compost or future compost.
Yeah.
And I was, maybe that was a thing or two I learned from you guys. I'm trying to figure this whole soil organic thing out. It's just being outside and growing a lot more plants outdoors has made me really kind of think in that direction versus like trying to play sterile with cocoa and everything. I mean, I was successful at that. I had no problems with it. It was great. And I saw what I could do, but I've also seen what I could do just by upgrading the LEDs, and it's like, all right, there's some things that just like one simple step can make a huge difference,
Made me think I was a better grower than I was, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, you know, facing
you
those
noticed that,
challenges are usually what makes you a better grower.
Have you noticed the terp content increase, like statistically, like through tests?
Not testing
Since
wise, I don't have
okay,
enough data to prove that, but I mean, like the bag, like when we opened your bag at the or the bar, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing, like that. The anecdotal kind of like experience like that definitely tells me something, but I don't have like the science to back it yet.
okay, yeah, I want to figure that out one day, but I'm tempted to dabble back into organic. Organics is always tempting. It's
Mhm.
fun. I find it very fun, and it's you're always doing something better than for the planet than salts usually when you're messing with organics. So, but I still love my salts for the control and the science and the repetitiveness.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have their purpose.
I like my routine, but
I have respect for both methods. I just want to see people use whatever method they can that they're crushing it. Like keep fucking doing it, man.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like we have 2 identical rooms. We could have the dopest LEDs in them, you know, one day, and then have one room that's pushing high terp organics if it's, you know, actually percentage wise higher, and that's our extract or something that we're just dabbing, and then the other room's the sauce for a shit ton of tasty, you know, real good looking flour.
Or like multiply that test, or I guess create a multitude of tests by having HIDs in one room, LEDs in the other room, and then one side is living organic and one side is cocoa in both rooms. You know what I mean? And like just
I have no desire. I have no desire to go backwards.
Maybe not HID, but something else. Like
I have
like
zero
living
desire.
like beds versus plastic.
I would try to
else.
debunk the CO2 like I'm kind of doing now. I've been using 800 ppms instead of the recommended. You either do none additional or 1,000 or more. You know, that's what a lot of places say, but I do 800 and I get great results. So I don't know. We could do something like that.
I think that is a matter of, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that kind of like correlated to your DLI, how much CO2 you should be running? I mean, I know it's kind of everything together, but like
I think
as your the amount of light increases, kind of everything needs to follow as long as you can keep everything in check, right?
I think it's a correlation between what you said, the light, and then ppms though.
Yeah, ppm.
Because you can up your ppms when you add CO2 too, but like it's a balance, like you just said, and that's what we always fight that in veg. Whenever we're going from like clones that have just been transplanted or a week ago to like where they're getting taken over their little 1 gals, and we have to balance the lights. We don't have CO2 in veg, but that's what we've always thought about. Like, man, if we had CO2 right now, we wouldn't have to touch the lights, you know, or something like that. But
dude, the watering schedule always gets me. Like when you're like, you know, well, for example, a clone. We all know those things. Like, you know, until they take their pot, whatever pot size that is, like it's a slow drinker, just like typically after we transplant. But man, if you let it like get a little too close to getting root bound, all of a sudden it's like watering every day is not enough, you know. And I've been there where it's like, oh wow, these pots I can lift them with basically a pinky, you know what I mean? And I just watered this thing yesterday, and I water it today, and it shoots straight out the bottom of the pot. It's like you just have to transplant it at that point, or you got to cut it.
We call that a false runoff.
Runoff. I like
if
that.
it's so dry and you do too much right away, it'll just go out the straight. The plant's not getting any of that. It's literally running out the side.
Well, but what if it's in a saucer though, and it has to suck, you know, your butt shot?
Oh, true.
But
I don't know if it can soak it back. If it's cocoa, it's gonna soak it back up. So
I don't know. Pretty good too.
But yeah, we just had a run that was so big, we ended up having to do 2 a days, which we normally don't have to do before it goes to flower. And it was you come in, they're just droopy and they're light as a feather, even though they're 2 foot tall, foot wide, big old plants. And we're definitely doing 2 a days. And we're talking like you come in the morning, you hit it with at the end there 1,300 for one gallon, and to get it to run off. And then you're coming back at like 3 or 4 o'clock and hitting it with like, I don't know, 500, maybe more to get it to run off again. And
12 to 1,300 milliliters, you're saying, to run off?
Milliliters, sorry, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we always go by
On a
milliliters
1
at
gallon
work.
pot. That's a lot
Yeah,
of water.
they get big, and we'll be plucking them, be like, all right, this will help,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a big run. So I'm just hoping we keep them not too tall, because the HIDs burn them up if they get too tall. Not burn them up, but piss them off enough. But yeah. Yep. So yeah,
Lot to it.
yeah. Yeah. How's your grow going? Y'all's over there.
Ours good.
Yeah, the seedlings.
The seedlings are looking good. I watered them again.
Gave us a
today.
live look-in yesterday on Wake and Bake.
Oh, okay, nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're not too far off of going into like 1 gallons or so, but a little
Yeah.
while longer. I like to have them kind of established, that way you don't break the roots when you try to transplant it.
I always
Man,
kind of like to see the roots coming out the bottom a little bit of the solo cups before I transplant them. I don't know why, a little bit.
do you guys do the sleeve, or you just do a solo cup?
Sometimes I do, but these ones
Yeah.
aren't.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's how I used to do it, Paley. If I didn't have a sleeve, I'd just look at the holes in the bottom.
Yeah.
But
So early call
especially
on
in
your
cocoa.
garden. Which plants are you guys looking forward to the most, that hold the most promise? Which one do you look at first when you walk in?
Well, I'm looking forward to all of them because we picked them all. But the Granny Skunk's probably the most. I'm interested the most in that, the funky smells. But we'll see. We got some good hitters in there.
And how many of those Granny Skunks do you have?
Just 2 or 3. I can't remember.
Okay.
But they're stacking up pretty good. They've got good structure on them. All the plants are really tight node spacing.
I'm looking forward to the Las
yeah.
Vegas Lemon Skunk and the Cherry Crescendo and the Arise and Golden Goat.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She almost listed them all.
I'm
Right.
ready.
Is it across?
I mean,
right?
We just
That's
picked
the
them all,
hard
so it's
part.
hard to not be excited about them, right?
Well, the thing
right.
is, you don't buy seeds you don't like.
Yeah, you picked them for a reason, you know.
So you're always gonna pick something for a reason. But yeah, that's
Lady,
funny.
that last one, was that Arise times Golden Goat, or was that Arise
Yeah.
and Golden Goat too? Oh, you got
Rise.
is
Yeah.
that
Drop.
a name for that yet?
Huh?
Is that just a tester? Is there a name for that one yet?
No, I bought that in an auction from Ron.
Yeah.
Bishop.
That's
So,
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
there's
Spartan
some-
gone that week when you busted all those out?
He might have been. He might have been.
I
Yeah,
think he was.
sick. He was
Yeah,
sick.
she had a ton of like crosses, and we did a poll, and one of them was Golden Goat. We're just like, you got
Golden
it.
Goat and Arise? Yeah, we had to jump on a double sativa.
The other one though is that GMO cross, Dark Hollow.
Oh,
Yeah.
you GMO. What
One
the
day,
fuck?
GMO times Arise is
Oh,
gonna be a
great.
dope.
Jake, why don't
Oh.
you just grow GMO? I mean, you got to grow
You get everything
cross-
around it, man.
I have all the I have GMO. Actually,
I
I'm
know,
planning
so-
on doing a run pretty quick because I always think you can improve. You always move forward, Spartan. We don't move backwards or stay the same.
Well, hey,
GMO's
That's cool.
pretty awesome.
Yep.
Will we take clones of what we were growing, or will we always pop seeds? We'll probably always pop seeds because we got a
Fine.
bunch of seeds, and we're gonna take cycles off or seasons off. So probably both.
But I mean, you're gonna clone them until you finish, right? In case you find something special.
Hold something in veg.
Probably not.
he's saying no.
What?
No, it's
Each
not.
Probably
new
not.
season's a new season, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
What am I gonna
man.
do with the special plant that I find?
Baked's gonna hold on to all those
grow it
plants just in
again
case.
and
He's got a
smoke it
clone room
again?
going, right?
You pass it out to the people that'll hold on to it. That way, if you want to bring it back in season 2, then you could bring it back and let it be a heavy
Little
hitter as a
encore,
one-time
you know what I'm
plant.
saying?
Yeah, man, for sure.
I'm on like season fucking 17
15?
with some of the, yeah.
The
I tell
lime
you-
skunk has been walking
I tell you
along.
to
man.
kill the show.
Seriously. I will say though that lime skunk I had a re-veg it earlier this year, and I had a couple of people tell me that would bring back the vigor, and I don't know, the reactions I got from the community this year seems to tell me that the vigor did come back, but it was more requested, I guess, out of any strain I got, a Clementine or anything, Yeah, and I don't know, maybe Skilbo and everybody, just loving it so much has something to do with that. But
It's the lime terps, man. That's
Yeah.
it's what now. See, you look at what Painted Lady and Sequence are growing.
The
They're
cycles,
looking for
right?
lime.
Yeah, man.
There's so
Red
many,
Rebecca with the citrique.
so
That's a
many
fucking-
strains
That's
out there.
That's
you
another
know?
lime skunk. Shit, even this Mr. Clean I started or popped this year was a lime skunk cross. Sorry, what was that Sequence?
I was just saying, there's so many strains out there. I've grown stuff like GG4 probably 15 times. I don't need to grow GG4 again. I can grow some other cool strain that I've been looking forward to growing. Just pop those seeds and see what's in there.
Especially with the multipass, we have the Ethos multipass that's coming every, twice a year. So we've got all of those seeds and everything, and we just, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Baked. As far as you're not going to take clones. What the hell are you talking about? It makes me kind of cringe too when I think about, oh man, what if we find that one plant of like a Rise times Golden Goat or whatever, but. I don't know. I guess, like you said, that's the luck of the draw and like just kind of imagining how many new plants we can pop that might be even better than that one.
Sometimes you do find that plant too, and you're like, shit.
You can do both.
One of my dude friends explained
That's true.
Tinder to me this day one time. It's like, how you're flipping through Tinder and like you used to be like, no, left, right, or left, however it works, left, right, or whatever. It was like you always just keep swiping right, like because you just never know what's gonna be on the other side of it. Like there's probably something better on the other side. You just keep going, like you just keep, And I was like, what? Now I get it. It's like seeds. So there's always that.
Hold on.
Probably gonna
That
be
didn't
something
work
better.
because he's not swiping right anymore.
Huh?
Because you eventually find one you don't swipe right with.
Right.
Well, no, I mean now I'm swiping right, but
And
you
then
just keep looking.
Boy, is you're gonna be like, damn, this is the one I wish I would have cloned. Oh, you kept swiping right.
Bakes,
you
I'm
kept
with you, man.
seeds.
And
you went crazy.
If I find that Tinder date, that
I will
satisfies
sponsor.
me, why keep swiping? You know what
I'll
I mean? I want
sponsor
to keep that
the
Tinder
Q
date
plugs
around.
and the clone tray.
Still talking
I
about
grew. I had a white wedding
More
one
space,
time.
Dave.
Man, I wish I had a clone of it. It was so great.
It's nice. So let's get some white wedding crosses and we'll find something just as good.
Painted Lady doesn't like it.
White
That's
wedding.
all right. You got room for
No, I like
multiple
it. I just-
strains.
But if she
Makes me
dictated
think-
every flavor in your life, you'd be eating vegan right now.
Yeah.
What
You wouldn't have steak.
What'd you just say?
Don't worry about it.
I didn't hear it either.
I think my
Good
mom's
goddamn
calling me. I
thing,
gotta
I
go. Hey,
just-
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas, guys. It was a great show.
All my ceilings popped. They were all successful. So I've got Vortex
What's
F2s. I got Vortex, or I got the what do they call it, Spartan Puke, which is the Donnie cross.
Spartan.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
mine. That's
What did
mine.
they call it? I think that's what you call it, dude.
Yeah.
Spartan Puke, and then I got I also got
the Spartan fanboys.
and then I also got Snow Devil, which is the Snow Cane cross to Vortex. So it'll
I'm
be
excited
cool.
about that one, man.
Oh,
um,
the
I was
Puke.
just smoking the Vortex
Puke.
this weekend. I took some down to Anything Grows too, and she agrees that shit is just like that old shit I described before. She was saying she felt like she said it felt like her head was spinning too, and I was like, "Well, stop smoking for a little bit." Then the next step is puking.
Yeah, that's no good.
nice. You could call the next one the Purge.
It tastes so good though. It's
Oh,
I like it.
Oh,
The nice the flavor profile on the one that I've got is it's to me it's lemons at first, like lemon, and then it's I won't tell you what one.
damn.
Yeah, she was. But it's like lemon at first, but then it's like that common Space Queen terp. And we were talking about it. It's like we can taste that same common flavor in the Vortex and the Cuvée and what was the other one? I can't remember. But there's three that we'd both smoked. And we're like, yeah, it's in all of those. And then we looked them all up, looked up all the strains, and they all were crossed to that Space Queen. Looked like Subdue Space Queen, kind of like what Rasta Jeff uses a rise and he hits a lot of stuff with it.
I think Space Queen was part of Leica as well. That's been around. Well, I mean, obviously it's been around for a long time, but a lot of things that's touched. That's the thing about growing that I do like. It kind of goes back to what Baked was saying, is find that one plant that in the cross can pass on its really good shit, but then you can find a nice marriage of some other genetic that's going to bring something even better to that without losing that one characteristic that you really wanted to carry forward with.
The whole point of making seeds is to make a better plant.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Well, that's the goal of breeding, it's not to breed and just make another plant. It's got to be a better plant.
Right. You got it. It's forever pheno hunt. So if you love the pheno hunt, look into breeding.
Part of pheno hunting is preservation.
Shout out to Andy Rose. She corrected me. It was Chernobyl was that third strain I couldn't think of. So we could taste the common terp in the Chernobyl cuvee.
Oh, really?
Vortex, yeah.
Mm.
And so when we looked up all the lineages, all of them, the common lineage was Space Queen.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah, man.
What's
it's
Space Queen?
It's a subcool strain.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
I know that, but I mean, like, what's
Space
the
Queen, I
lineage?
think, is like some old school shit, like
That's what
probably
I'm
like
saying. I'm about
Romulan
to
and
pull it
Cinderella
up.
99 or something like that.
Let's get this
Cindy?
up. Let's get this up.
Pull it up, Jamie.
I'm pulling this up.
Let's
You
get this
find
on the screen, he says.
Oh, gross. Gross,
Somebody
I got
got
Miss Jill's
Back.
genetics.
Oh, now you're gonna get a bunch of
Absolutely,
hate.
yeah.
You had that on a show now, man.
Well, it's not real. It's not real.
Oh man, going for the
All right,
throat.
here we go.
I like
Well,
it.
TJ hit him up. He's like, no. She was not very nice. Space Queen is.
Zoom in for old people.
Oh, look at
Romulan
that.
99. What a good guess.
Oh, nice.
What a
Nice.
good guess.
So Cindy
Yep.
and what?
And so
Romulan.
C99, Romulan.
Literally,
Romulan-
just what Spartan said.
Romulan is 100% indica, or was.
Wow, good for you,
The
Spartan.
princess is P43.
Thanks, man. I just fucking
Something nice
Nice.
to keep around.
pull it out of the fucking depths of my
You
fucking
You
cobweb.
blew my stoner mind right there. You're like, it's probably Romulan and Cindy 99 or something old like that. It's exactly that cross. So well done.
I just
Man,
remember he worked
Earth.
with Mr. Nice there, so I knew he worked with Cindy 99, and then the oldest subcool thing that I could remember was Romulan.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I wonder what's in my Ace of Spades.
That website is fun sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You can
Seed
really go down
Finder.
that hole.
That is a cool website.
I have been on it many a time. And then when Leafly was first kind of out, I used to go there all the time for strain things. And just, I could go down a rabbit hole forever looking for
It used to be
strains.
good, and then you're right, it turned to shit.
Yeah,
there's some-
I used to love the little, like, they'd have a tab where you could just click on medicinal or, just
Mhm.
I
different
used to
tabs.
search
for
by
different-
fibromyalgia, and it would give you, like in order of how many people told you it was good.
That's really cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
when my fibromyalgia was like at its worst, before I was on any kind of medication for it, it used to sit up for hours just with insomnia, and I would do nothing but go to seed sites and just click on each strain and try to read about it, just for hours and hours and hours and hours. And so that's how I learned a lot about things that I wanted to try to smoke, things that were carrying through from one thing to the other, and
Yeah.
That's a cool fucking rabbit hole to go down.
Just take your plants another week before you harvest them. It'll be all CBN. And they'll take care of the insomnia for you.
We'll take
There
care
you
of
go.
that.
Well, that was pre-RSO.
We'll leave it in your garage for a year and then smoke it after that.
We
Hey,
were talking about a sleeper one today. Pan Lady and Sequence and I.
which one?
Obama could,
Obama runs.
or yeah.
Obama runs? Is it
Or maybe
sleeper?
which one was it at Freedom
Oh,
Green? Was it
Freedom
Runs or
Green.
Kush?
Yeah, but it's
Whichever
Obama.
one. But then we got Obama Runs at work, and I tried it, and I tried it on break, and I wanted to go to sleep the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
Got
I
blown
wanted
out
a
on
nap.
break.
Yeah, normally that doesn't happen, like never. So I think it's the Obama Runs.
I was thinking about it myself, and I realized that it really is all about the terps for me. I love to just smell different kinds of cannabis. And I'll be honest with you, some things I'll be like, oh man, that's got that one smell. So if I'm looking for that, you start to develop your palate, and then you can use that as to like what your medicine could be. So even if you don't know all this shit and you don't know all the lineages and stuff, you don't know where to start, follow your nose, pull a Toucan Sam, smoke something good, remember what it smells like, and then try to find that smell again.
A big reason why preservation is good.
Well, here's the problem is we were talking about, we can go all the way back to Spartan, letting me know that, thank God, he's got the GG4 for me. And we've kind of talked all around this outside of our water talk, but holding on to something, it's cool because he got that as a clone from someone. He gave it to me as a clone so that he could try different medicine for Mama Spartan. And then she comes back and wants that back. So I was able to give him the exact same cut back to him. Boom. Now that I'm set up, he's taking clones of it. He's giving it back to me. And so someone was asking what's one of the top strains of 2022, and I threw a couple of things out, like Super Boof and shit. At the same time, it's being able to hold on to that one medicine, that one thing that's doing the trick for you. So Sequence and Painted Lady, if you find something that's really, really fucking good, I'm sure that either Baked or myself will hold a cut of it in case you do change your mind.
I thought that was a long roundabout way of saying that you thought Gorilla Glue 4 was going to be the top strain of 2022.
Oh dear God! No.
That's a roundabout way of saying that terps are the only thing that matters.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, you all can say that. You all can say that shit, but you look on the list, and GG4 is fucking still up there.
I love it, dude. I really do.
Fucking up there, man.
But it's follow your nose. Go back to it if you and it's not even about medicine. If we go back to concentrates and shit, what's everybody about? It's about the terps. It's about the flavors.
Yep.
Hey,
definitely for concentrates.
I'll throw my name in that hat with a good strain too, especially if it comes to terps and something I like. I took in that Cobra Milk, and I got two lights of that going in flower. Those are the most recent ones I just threw in there from those 3 gallons to the 10 gallons. I got to get these things going. I want more Cobra Milk. That went too quick. I'm out.
Nice.
I like variety, and part of that variety is a variety of strains over time.
Flavors.
So if you're growing the same strain all the time, then you're smoking the same strain all the time. So I like
if you're doing true variety, then that means you never have time to grow the same strains all the time, which means I'm never going to do that same strain twice in a row because I got shit ahead of it, which means I got to put it on the back burner. So I might get to it with this other strain, which means in a couple months I'm going to harvest that, not with GMO like I did last time. So I had those two, but now I'll have that strain and GG4 on a harvest. And I did better with that strain, but no.
That sounds like a nightmare having to clone plants twice in order to run them, and
it's literally my life. So
you know what I mean? Like, well, it's too big. I gotta clone it and reset it so I can run it next time. That kind of stuff.
This is like a chore. That's where I'm at with my girl right now.
I literally have like all of my strains in one room right now, and they're all in 10-gallon pots, and they're all 4 feet tall, and they're all overgrown. They're all ready to be cloned, and I just need to take clones of everything. But then it's like, well, then what do I do with these plants? Like if I got room in flower, I might as well throw them in there. You know what I mean? They're not unhealthy. They're healthy enough to clone, so they're certainly healthy enough to go into flower. But it's like, but they've been in these 10-gallon pots for a while. So
well,
I don't have anything bigger.
Devil's advocate is this. So let's say that I'm a small tent grower and I'm running into this issue, and I say, man, if I've got any kind of room, I'm just going to shove this plant in there. Shoving that one plant in there can change the environment in the fucking tent so much that you're really out of whack, and you're chasing it now because you're holding more humidity, because you have more transpiration, because you have more soil, which is more saturation, and your airflow is less than it was before. So there is a trade-off. Sometimes you can be like, well, do I really need it? And can I really sustain and handle it? I'm going to say most people can, but you always got to take your environment. You don't want to fuck your environment up by throwing extra plants.
It's worth, in my opinion, it's worth just taking clones, making sure those clones are rooted and transplanted, and then offing that mother. Because if you're having any issues with that thing because it's overgrown, it's unhealthy or whatever, if you have a genetic copy of that already, just chop it down, put it outside, compost it, whatever, feed it to the chickens, whatever you're gonna do. It's most of the time it's not worth the risk because, like I said earlier in the show, like over an hour ago, the longer these plants live, the more problems that you're going to encounter, whether that's pests, whether that's diseases, anything else that can be brought in the grow room. You want to cycle them. It's a challenge to keep mothers, but it's worth it if you can do it.
Well, like you said, like I won't even wait till they have roots. You know, I'll kill a plant at this point, you know, because I know, you know, how to root and clone and all that, and make sure it's the proper, you know, humidity in the dome and all that.
Don't do it if you're a new grower, but yeah, if you got experience.
But I'll take 3 cuts. Usually I go for 3 cuts, plug them, and then I get rid of that plant. I used to do the whole like I'll wait till I have roots, but that's an extra whole 2 weeks. I'm giving it water and newts. And I was like, nah. I got this down because every time I get at least one, if not all of them, root most of the time.
And here's the thing: if you give up on that plant and those clones don't root, guess what? You have an unhealthy plant now that you can't clone from. So you have to give it 100%, or you have to have the experience, like Big's saying, and just know that you're confident in your cloning skills.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Okay, now talk about time though. 2 weeks versus, you know.
And there's a scenario where you lose it all, and then boom, you pop seeds, and then it's like, okay, whatever, but you tried, I guess.
I mean, I'm with you, Baked. I definitely believe in keeping plants.
So like sequence. If I were you guys, I would just be eyeballing the fuck out of these little plants, and I'd be rubbing them when they get bigger, you know, checking them out all the time. And then if there's a couple that are like, damn, this one stinks in veg, you know, like GMO does, Donnie does. Yeah. I got a Creature Panic I found out. We finally got it at work, and it's huge because we're mothering out. And it hit me the other day because the fan was wafting. And I was like, ooh, that's some Creature Panic. And then I went, wait, we're in veg. And I was like,
what's the cross on the Creature Panic?
I think it's a Mind Flare and something. Let's see, it's Soulfire. But yeah, anyways, if you find one, you should clone it.
There's just about a 0% chance that I'll find a plant in this winter run that I'm going to be willing to keep alive all summer to grow next winter. Pretty much 0%.
Oh, so you're passing out cuts then.
Hey, it all comes down to grower philosophy, right?
But then
now, you made me think about it, dude. It took me 4 years of growing clementine before I won a cup with it.
Well, I mean, it's not a philosophy thing. It's just a different, like, I grew GMO forever. I grew Mac. I grew all sorts of cuts. I kept cuts.
Crescendo, Citral Glue.
We have like 400 seeds to pop. We're going to start popping some seeds and grow them.
We're seed players, you guys. Just face it.
It's all right.
We can't.
It sounds like that's your growing philosophy.
We can't commit to one seed.
Yeah,
fine.
It's fine.
They fold, right?
Like,
now Bake is not going to be able to sleep at night. Now he's going to be
it's just you're going to hand me something. I'm going to be like, this is fucking dang.
Inevitably, it's going to happen.
Hey, can I get a cut of this? No, we killed it 5 months ago. Oh,
it will happen.
Broken heart.
You're going to be thankful for what you have because that's all you got. You know.
We need to start an MBGS.
And then I'm going to have to do what seeds was it from? What breeder? All right, now I got to go find a pack of that. All right, maybe 2. I probably need 2 packs of it because I really need to do a good hunt.
I was just going to say, you have multiple packs usually.
If I'm doing if I want something like the Indigo Daydream, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
So what's the story on that?
That way, it's just kind of like I just think about it. I was like, oh man, remember that one weed?
Member?
Yeah, man.
That was awesome.
Member berries.
And then
remember that.
Remember Pepperidge Farm.
Remember that?
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Oh, real quick, Creature Panic is something called The Creature times Bahama Mama.
What was the number one that you? What number pheno did you bring in?
Pick number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 out of 3. Number 1, I believe it was Hermit. Straight up Hermit in the beginning of flower. Big old Hermit. So I cut that out.
Not fun.
So not one.
Yep.
Keep that.
No, I won't be breeding that. Yeah.
Don't be that.
Yeah.
10:59 chat. Check us out tomorrow for the late sesh at 11 o'clock. Right?
Yeah.
Eastern.
11 p.m.
Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
Switch,
Come through for the
switch
late
to live
night.
chat. Don't forget to switch to live chat.
Merry
And
Christmas,
have a
everybody.
great
Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah,
12
man.
Days Awake and Bake is back. Check it out for Growly.
Switch to live chat so you don't miss anything.
Good timing.